Mickey talks the truth.
Okay. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind.
Hey, listen, you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
Mickey talks the truth.
Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth. We is live with it. Good morning, Truth Team. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We are back at it. YSL trial continues. Yet Gotti and Shannon Stillwell fights for freedom. That's the title. We ended off last week with Young Thug pleading out on this case. A lot of people have been having a debate all weekend. Is it a win for Young Thug or not? Is it just beneficial to the prosecution? Some people are wondering, why didn't he continue the fight with Yet Gotti and Shannon Stillwell? They were winning the trial. You know, that's the conversation. We're going to get into it. It says that court is supposed to start at 8:30. That's why I came on a little earlier. But I'm not sure. I thought it was 9. But anyway, we got a couple, things we can talk about while we wait. In the meantime, I do need to go ahead and get my disclaimers and disclosures out. So let's run that. Y'all already know all information contained on this live is for entertainment, heavy on the mother effing entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used on this live is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you and your mama, not nobody on this channel, this panel, or in this chat. And another disclaimer for those who have not read the description to my channel, I am not a lawyer. Nothing I say should be used as legal advice because it's not legal advice, okay? If you do need legal advice, however, you can go talk to an actual licensed lawyer or attorney of your choosing, all right? And like the disclaimer says in the video, that you can actually see the consequences of anything that you try to run with from the channel is definitely on you, all right? So with that being said, hey, just sit back, enjoy my opinion based off my free thoughts of what I'm listening to, and y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let's get started.
You can't handle the truth.
And there you have it. All right. So while we're waiting on the YSL trial to start up, let's talk about it. I briefly got on live yesterday before I had to cut it short because I had some things to do. But the thing that a lot of content creators and even viewers are saying, like, Thug was winning. Why didn't he continue on? Like, Yat Gotti and Shannon Stillwell. I'm going to tell y'all my opinion. Yat Gotti and Shannon Stillwell are charged with murders, right? They're charged with other crimes too, but they're charged with murders. Their plea deals that were offered to them basically included life, because I think in Georgia 30 years is life. I think the end of Thug's plea, they came on for a little while. I think they offered like Yak 40 years, Shannon something. So they still offer them a boatload of years, right? So to them, in my opinion, it's like, shit, I'm facing, life anyway. If I ride it to the end, you basically giving me life with 40 years, then fuck it. I'm just going to ride it out. It wasn't nothing beneficial to them. They were not offered an opportunity to go home. They were not offered time served and a bunch of probation. They actually was offered time. You know what I'm saying? So in their cases, it would be more beneficial just to see what the jury says. In my opinion, with Young Thug, he was not charged with any murders. I've been saying this from the beginning. The RICO itself, as far as being a gang leader, he pled NOLO. So although, he still pled to that charge, it's really not a win per se for the prosecution because he didn't accept liability of being a leader. He just said, hey, y'all say I'm a leader. I'm saying nothing. Like, I'm just going with it so I can get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? However, I'm not taking that charge like that. However, I'm going to take these drugs and these gun charges that they're mine. So it just depends on how you sauce it up and how you explain it if that's really a win for the state. I say it's not, because you told us he was the fucking leader. I want him charged as the leader. He should plead out as the leader. But when it come down to it, that's not what happened. So my view of it is they took an L on it, even though they still per se got a conviction on it. Also, Thug was facing 100 and something years. Okay, 100 and something years. So if they came to him with, okay, we'll let you walk right now. Okay, you just can't make no more music. That to me, right? Good morning, me mom. To me, that's like, hold on, I got a chance to get out of here. So I shouldn't even risk going all the way to the end of this, because although we looking at it, right, say he's winning, we don't know what the jury gonna come back as. So should I sit here and fight to the end with the possibility of getting 100+ years? Hell no, if I can go home now without having to tell on nobody, without having to do nothing besides get 15 years probation, fuck it, I'm gonna take it. And like I told y'all yesterday, Thug has the resources where he can do well on 15 years probation. He's not like other defendants, like Moot Chunk and stuff, that's going back to poverty, going back to not having shit. You know what I'm saying? He's going back to a high-end lifestyle. Not saying that's enough where he won't fuck up, but if he do fuck up, it's not going to be on no life type stuff. It's going to be on some, he just was doing dumb shit. So I say that to say it's like we're looking at it too wrong. At the end of the day, nobody wants to really put their life in 12 people's hands, because you really don't know which way it's going to go. But Thug, I agree with his decision to take the plea, because it wasn't no need for him to win this trial and ultimately possibly get found guilty as being a leader of a freaking gang in Rico and get 20, 40, 50 years in prison when he could walk right then and there, not have to plead to being a leader of a gang, take ownership of his drugs and guns, and keep it moving. So that's my view on it. Like I said, it's no benefit to Gotti and Shannon Stillwell to do it. Not Sweet Cheeks. What's up, Black Light? You know, it wasn't beneficial to them to take a plea. Like I said with Hugh, it was definitely beneficial to him, because he would have rolled that thing out and end up getting 40, 50 years if it went the other way. Because again, we never know what the jury is going to say, and he ended up just getting 9. That's a sweet deal. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? What's the other guy name? Nichols. You know what I'm saying? His 7 years. Like, y'all, like I said, we can sit here and say who's winning or whatever. And again, even Brian still said they was winning. We still don't know. We still don't know what the jury is going to say. Thug's a drug addict. He's going to fail probation. Well, even if he is a drug addict, I doubt he's going to fail probation. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is, again, this is just my opinion. I don't know what type of drugs Thug likes or loves or whatever, but he did admit to, you know, doing drugs back then. If he has an addiction to marijuana, he can get that legalized for himself and not have to worry about it. If he has an addiction to prescription pills, he can get that prescription for him also. So I don't think, unless it's something like cocaine or meth or some shit like that, some concoction, you know, that's the only way I think he's going to fail it. But if he is addicted to a drug that can be prescribed to him, he'll be all right. That's just my opinion of it. What's up, Lamar? Way that jury ain't take none of the outs they could have taken to get off. They're gonna find somebody guilty, right? And you never know. Like I said, shit, you've been sitting there a year. I couldn't take, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't take my trip. I couldn't take the new job. Hell no. Y'all niggas going down. Like, for real, people be having that in the back of their mind. We don't know. It's probably cocaine or lean. Well, I mean, to each his own. I doubt it was cocaine. I've never heard no rumor about cocaine. Even a lean can be prescribed legally too. So I mean, again, I'm pretty sure he'll get it prescribed and he won't violate probation if that is one of the drugs of his choice. State probation don't even test for marijuana anymore. Well, see, boom. So, like I said, like to my understanding, he used to pop pills and shit. So, I mean, he can get that prescribed to him. I don't think if he does violate, it's gonna be because of drugs, because it's And then especially if he does transfer his stuff to California for sure. So anyway, like I said, I don't think, again, I don't personally think Thug is going to violate his probation. I just don't see it happening. Not saying it can't happen. That's just my opinion. He has too much good set up where he doesn't have to violate. Like I said, hell, if you do have a drug problem that you want to continue to do, shit, you better get it prescribed to you. You better say you got anxiety, or something, and get you some Xanax the right way or whatever. So like I said, I just don't see drugs being the reason that takes back. If anything, possibly getting caught up with maybe his surroundings. Hopefully he take more heed to that. So that's my opinion. If anything, it's gonna be his surroundings, just like the whole FaceTime call with T.I. You know, they were like, oh, he putting up gang, they was putting up gang signs. That type of shit might get him called up. So hopefully he move a little bit better with that. So what's up, spiritual gangster, Miss Tanya? Hey y'all, what do y'all think about people saying it was a lot of witchcraft done in that trial? That's not my area of expertise. I haven't even heard nothing like that. 2 seats at felony probation test for weed, and weed ain't legal in all states. I want to say medical marijuana is legal in Georgia. Well, I know for sure marijuana is legal in California. Hold on.
Listing your vacation rentals on Booking.com opens the door to more guests.
I think the trial about to start soon. Somebody in Georgia, I think it is. I think medical marijuana is legal in Georgia. I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of think it is. And then like I said, weed is legal in California. I'm pretty sure he done got the hell up out of I don't know like that. He done got the hell up out of Georgia, but he already in LA. They got him out of there ASAP. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have got the fuck out of there for sure. Is there a betting site where I can bet Thug will violate probation? Nah, just put it out on social media. That's all I can tell you. I think that 2.5 years done woke his ass up to be what it is. But again, we'll see. Like I said, I've seen somebody make it 10 years on parole. It was parole, but nevertheless, I seen somebody make it 10 years, and I also saw somebody violate 1 year of parole. So it's up in the air. I ain't wishing violation on nobody. I done seen my daddy violate probation before. I done seen my mama violate probation. Other family members, that shit ain't what it is. And again, I seen people who didn't have the resources in place to not violate, didn't have, wasn't walking back into a sturdy environment, so they didn't have to violate. So I'm only thinking like shit. If they had the resources in place like Thug, they probably wouldn't have violated. So that's just what my mindset is. Again, that doesn't, whether you have money or not, a job or not, doesn't mean you're not going to violate. But I just don't see it happen. That's just me though. But hey, y'all might be right. GA don't test for marijuana. Only people piss for marijuana is federal probation. Okay. Well, he's not on federal probation. I ain't wishing, but it seems like an easy bet. I don't know why you say it's an easy bet though. Like the man ain't even been home 7 days yet. Like I don't know. He hasn't showed any signs to me where, he will violate. I'm gonna be honest. I knew NBA YoungBoy was gonna do it because as soon as he hit the ground, it was like, oh shit, he's still back to his ways. So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I did take a couple days offline, but I'm not seeing the aha part with Thug as far as why I think he's gonna violate. Hold on, y'all. But hey, that's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. And hell, look at his other co-defendants, the ones that, minus Moontoon. Well, shit, we can put Moontoon on there. They was doing the right thing, and they got more years than him on probation. Again, the only reason why Muntu is sitting in jail because he freaking lied on the stand. Whether it was when he was on the stand for this trial or when he took his plea, that's why he's sitting in jail. You know, Thug brother is in jail because his ass violated his terms by going to Cleveland with a gun. That was just dumb as fuck on his end. But, you know, other than that, everybody else with 25, 35 years, I'm talking about murderers, you know, allegedly, they still doing well, 3 years later? So I don't know. I don't see what y'all see as far as thinking that Thug with I think he's probably like the least amount of probation received is gonna fuck up so bad. I doubt he violated, and I'm sure after 2 years still gonna put in for early termination. Yeah, we done seen that happen multiple times. I think the last in Georgia anyway. I think the last rapper I seen do that was Nudie. What's his name? Little Nudie or 21 Savage cousin Nudie. I seen him do that and got his probation terminated. So yeah, if he moved to LA, that's gangland. LOL. He already violated. Shit, as long as he ain't living in gangland doing gang shit and putting it on records, he fine. All right, y'all.
We've got about 4 or 5 things to take up before the jury comes in. One of them is the instruction that we're going to give to the jury regarding the fact that we are proceeding right now with 2 defendants instead of 6. I have a proposed instruction from the state. I didn't see any proposed instructions from the defense. Were there any?
You sent that last night.
To Ms. Persfield?
Yeah, 10:01, I believe. Let me make sure it went out of my, it's not stuck in my outbox or something.
Okay.
Verify. You saw that? Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, well, I don't have it, which doesn't mean Ms. Persfield doesn't have it, but she typically sends me what she gets. So she'll be back with us in just a second. I have worked on a version based on what Mr. Abadi sent, but I'll obviously look at yours as well. Okay, so that's one thing. Then we have our witness list for the truncated week. There's a motion to limit autopsy photos. I guess this is from the drinks shooting. And then there's a motion to prohibit recall of Detective Thorpe, which I actually haven't even had a chance to read yet. But if either of those is not opposed, then we can handle those in short order. And then with regard to, when we actually left the jury last over a week ago, counsel for Mr. Nichols had moved for a mistrial, and I had denied a mistrial with prejudice, but inquired as to whether she was interested in a mistrial without prejudice. And of course, that issue is now moot. And I don't know what anybody who's still here's position currently is with regard to whether they feel any entitlement to a mistrial without prejudice, but I will hear from counsel for Mr. Kendricks and Mr. Stillwell as to that issue.
Mr. Kendrick is not interested in a mistrial without prejudice, Your Honor. So if that's not going to be granted,
all right.
One with prejudice is not going to be granted. We're not interested in without prejudice.
All right. Well, have y'all moved for one with prejudice with regard to
what
our last issue was?
I believe under the Harvey rule that all of us had joined that unless we specifically opted out.
All right. Okay. Well, that had been denied. So if there's nothing else with regard to that, y'all do not want one without prejudice. All right. How about you, Mr. Short, on behalf of Mr. Stillwell?
Good morning, Your Honor. We are in the same position. We are not moving for a mistrial without prejudice.
All right. Well, that takes care of that issue. How about let's look at our list of witnesses for the week. There are, thank you, she brought it down to me, 3 witnesses who it is proposed not be shown on camera. And I believe the reason provided for that was each of those witnesses works in an undercover capacity. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection on that?
Mr. Kendrick only objects to investigator, I believe it's Starks, just because I'm not sure why they should not be shown when they're featured on the Facebook page of the APD throwing a football and their image is shown. So I think if there was a concern about not showing that particular witness, they wouldn't be publicizing his face on Facebook.
Well, it may be that their face had not been associated with their name, which is no longer the case.
Well, no. It features his name. I wouldn't have said it otherwise, Your Honor.
Okay. Appreciate that. Is that the case?
Your Honor, I wasn't aware of that until this moment. I know that he also works in the same unit as Investigator Flores.
Is that on?
It's not out. As to that investigator, Your Honor, we were unaware of that until this moment, so we're going to look.
All right, well, y'all check on that. That seems like a pretty valid objection, and no objection with regard to the other 2. So we can circle back on Starks, who wouldn't be called until later in the week anyway. All right, that takes care of that. Ms. Percival, Mr. Weinstein said that they had also forwarded at around 10 p.m. last night, a proposed jury instruction. Can you see whether you got that? And if so, forward it.
If you don't see it, I can resend it to you.
I only see.
If you don't mind just resending it, it might be the easiest way to do it.
I'll resend it.
Sorry, I don't see it.
No worries.
All right. In the meantime, how about the autopsy photos? Have y'all on the drinks killing? Have y'all discussed what is or is not coming in on that amongst yourselves?
We haven't, Your Honor, although I'm not going to say at this point that I believe we need judicial involvement. Unless Your Honor wants to be involved.
All right,
I just saw that this.
Okay, why don't y'all get together and see if y'all can come to agreement about what would come in, and if there's disagreement after y'all talk, then y'all bring that back up to me. Okay, the recalling of Detective Thorpe. You want to just give me a summary?
Yes, Your Honor. As Your Honor knows and has been doing in this case, you have discretion and control over the way evidence is presented and witnesses that are called. One thing that, from my observations, has been important with moving this case along is when a witness testifies, and then we cross-examine that witness, you have been limiting the state on the redirect to the scope of the cross, which I think is important. Detective Thorpe testified previously as lead investigator for the Donovan Thomas case back in September, I believe, and he was on the stand for several days. The state, through discovery, provided me with a copy of a statement. There's been several statements made. This was around the time that Mr. Stilwell was in the car with Tiara Jones when she was shot. And then he was also served with arrest warrants at that time for Donovan Thomas. There is an interrogation that took place. Detective Thorpe is the individual who was in charge of questioning Mr. Stilwell. Detective Gaither walked in towards the middle of the interrogation. But this interrogation was never brought up by the state in their direct of Detective Thorpe back in September. I certainly did not bring it up. No defense counsel brought it up. So by recalling Thorpe and getting into this interrogation, that's something that they wouldn't have been allowed if, based on your Honor's previous rulings. Of course, every ruling is different, but based on your Honor's previous rulings, that would have been outside the scope of cross, or outside the scope of cross for them to get into that on redirect. And it just seems to me simply recalling him is just an end around of that rule that we've been abiding by.
All right, let me hear from the state on this matter.
So, Your Honor, with Detective Thorpe, he's going to be covering three, I'll call it categories of testimony. For one, he is going to be discussing defendant Kendrick's statement to law enforcement that was pertaining to the Donovan Thomas murder. Also, Detective Thorpe was the lead detective, homicide detective, on the March 11th, 2022 murder of Christian McMiller and Darius Ford, which, as the state has articulated to this court before, is intrinsic to the Chamel drinks because it leads up to that murder.
Yeah, and I don't think the objection is as to that. So what's the third?
So, Your Honor, third is that the questioning, because Detective Thorpe is going to be testifying about those first two, the state's questioning of Detective Thorpe in relation to defendant Stillwell's statement, I would proffer would be 15 to 20 minutes. The state intends to ask Detective Thorpe questions, not play the statement, which alleviates need for fights over redactions or playing to the jury. So in the state's legally, the state is calling a witness to testify about relevant admissible evidence, specifically two statements of party opponent. And so the state feels that there's not a valid legal objection to keep out relevant admissible evidence. And the state also feels that Detective Thorpe is going to efficiently cover three topics, which could be different witnesses.
Okay, but with regard, I don't think the issue is as to the other two. It's as to talking to him about Stillwell's statement from November of 2015, a topic we seemingly already covered. Why should y'all be able to get into that again? Is there something about that statement that is now, I mean, I guess you're saying it's relevant to the Drinks murder? Is that what your position is?
No, Your Honor. My position is that with Detective Thorpe on the stand, he's going to be discussing he's going to be discussing both current defendants in this case, their testimony and statements that he gave with them. He was going to already be discussing defendant Kendrick's statement.
I understand the other stuff.
So the state's position is that him discussing a statement of party opponent of defendant Stillwell is legally relevant admissible evidence.
Okay, but.
And we have not covered that statement with the jury.
In any way?
No, Your Honor.
They called Detective Thorpe to talk about this homicide.
This homicide being?
Donovan Thomas, 2015, January 10, 2015. And they never brought up my client's statement. They never, we certainly never brought up my client's statement. And we proceeded with trial since then with the understanding that they called the lead investigator in the case, and that wasn't what they, I don't really want to go get lost in the weeds. But I'll just leave it at that. They chose not to call to ask about that. Now they're asking months later to relitigate.
All right. So if you had Detective Thorpe on the stand talking to him about the Thomas murder already, which you did, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then it seems that would have been the time to talk to him about Mr. Stillwell's statement from around that time. And I mean, I appreciate, we can do it efficiently, but you already had him on once. So why weren't you covering why is now the time to be covering that instead of back when you already called him?
Understood, Your Honor. Part of what the timing of this is because of Detective Dennis initially discussed Defendant Kendrick's statement. Because that testimony on that day was excluded, Detective Thorpe is discussing that statement of Defendant Kendrick's. And because he's going to be discussing or testifying about that statement, the statement was in October with Defendant Kendrick. The statement with Defendant Stillwell is in November. And so the state feels that because he's going to be discussing that statement with Kendrick in October, it's relevant to have him briefly address the statement he also gave with Defendant Stillwell after that statement.
Well, that's a red herring, Your Honor, because the Dennis has nothing to do with the statement of Stillwell. He wasn't present. He couldn't have testified to that. So, yes, they may be calling Thorpe for different things, and that's not my issue.
Right.
But they just can't lump in something that they should have asked about months ago.
So, Your Honor, the brass tacks of this issue is the state, of course, feels that this statement is favorable for the state's theory. Defense wants to keep it out. And the state's position is that a targeted question of Detective Thorpe, who was already, we're not adding a witness. The reason I brought up the other matters is because I think it's relevant in terms of the efficiency of the trial if we have one witness covering 3 separate topics. And a 15 to 20 minute questioning targeted of Detective Thorpe, who's already going to be testifying, is just relevant, admissible evidence that the state feels should not be legally excluded under a statutory or legal basis to exclude relevant admissible statement of a party opponent.
I mean, essentially, if you've been covering this trial, like, I don't know, incident by incident, I guess, which is sort of how y'all have been doing it, then you've already covered the Donovan Thomas murder with this witness. So it is like you're being able to do an in run around, well, gosh, we forgot to cover that on direct and now we want to do it again. We want to redo. Essentially, we want to be able to recall him. And so why didn't you do it the first time?
Your Honor, I don't know exactly why the state,
I was about to say, you
there's
don't
not
know.
some secret or tactician trying to be gained by putting this statement in now, to be quite frank with the court. It's just the state, and sometimes this happens in trials where a witness can be recalled to talk about testimony that has not been discussed.
All right. I mean, but essentially that's what you're doing, right? Is saying, okay, we haven't gotten to some of these things, but we'd also, while he's up here, like to be able to essentially recall him as to this other thing that we didn't cover before.
Well, Your Honor, the primary purpose of Detective Thorpe, and the reason I keep bringing up Kendrick's statement is because that's kind of, in the state's position, critical to why we're discussing this. Because if he's going to be discussing one of the defendants in trial statement at this present time, because that prior testimony is not in evidence, the state feels that it's important to talk about the other defendant remaining on trial statement that was close in time because we're going to be, that's the main reason for now, Your Honor.
We'll get to you in a minute. Mr. Shart, how would you be prejudiced by this? I mean, you know about the statement. You are certainly capable of cross-examining.
I hope I am. But I've known about the statement. But the state made decisions not to, and I think it was strategic. Their strategy quite well.
That might be giving them a little too much credit.
Well, it's ironic because Mr. Stillwell said things in his statement that were very helpful to Mr. Williams. And they chose not to put that into evidence. Now Mr. Williams is pled. Now all of a sudden they want to recall this gentleman to bring in that statement. And I've been proceeding with this trial over the last 3 months, under, I think, the fair belief based on the way things have been going, that wouldn't be admitted into evidence. Now I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but I find out about this. I see Detective Thorpe's name all of a sudden show up on a witness list when it wasn't on the upcoming witness list. And then it's, well, why are we recalling Detective Thorpe? And it's, well, to talk about Kendrick's statement, to talk about the Mac Miller and Darius Ford murder, which I get, but then it's like, oh, and we might ask him some questions about the statement your client gave that we didn't ask about back in September. And I don't think that's appropriate. And I think that I don't think it's appropriate to be able to recall witnesses repeatedly to highlight, when you want to highlight them, what their testimony is. If this was going to be brought out, then it should have been brought out in September.
I guess if I deny it at this point in time, the defense can put on whatever case they're going to put on, if they're going to put on a case. But I think that you had indicated before you had at least some defense case. Is that right? I mean, you had indicated that before. Anyway, if you do, then they get a chance to have a rebuttal case anyway, so they could put it up then. I mean, I guess we could do it that way.
Right. Assuming it was a logical rebuttal to what we presented.
All right. Do you pretty much know what it is they want to be getting about whatever he may have said in November of 2015?
I mean, there's a 120-page transcript. It's I don't know, an hour and a half, I'll say.
Your Honor,
you want to proffer what it is?
It's not a secret in terms of.
Go ahead.
The whereabouts of defendant Stillwell is the key issue. He states unequivocally he was in Miami.
Okay.
And so on the day of the murder. And so that is the main point of there's no hiding the ball with it. That's the main, it's his whereabouts on the day of the murder.
All right. Any further argument?
It's not that simple, because there was a statement.
Did he go to Miami with the crowd that went to Miami?
I think the evidence would show that he went the next day.
Which is the day, I mean, it's easy enough to explain as well.
Right. And so the video shows that Mr. Stillwell saying that he was in Miami. And then there's Detective Thorpe kind of unwinds that and says how that would be impossible. And then eventually Mr. Stillwell agrees. So, it's like when you boil it down to a one sentence, he said he was in Miami. That really doesn't give the whole story. Now we're opening up to the whole video once again and exactly what was said in the context, because it wasn't him just saying, oh, I was in Miami, period. It becomes clear that he thought he was in Miami that day. And then when they talk about, he puts himself with Kenneth Copeland in Miami. And then they say, well, Kenneth Copeland was in my office after the homicide, so you couldn't have been in Miami. And then eventually, I think it's fair to say that Mr. Stillwell says, okay, I understand what you're saying. That's not a direct quote, but so that, I don't know why he's being recalled.
Okay, and why wasn't that presented to begin with when you had him up here before talking about either the Thomas murder or when Mr. Stillwell came and gave a statement as a victim?
Your Honor, I don't know exactly why that was not presented earlier.
Okay. All right. I'll think about that. He's not going to be our first witness. Yes, sir, Mr. Weinstein.
Good morning, Your Honor. You mentioned end runs earlier today. If you recall, maybe you don't know, Detective Dennis was the one that was supposed to be speaking about Mr. Kendrick's interview, and you rightfully sanctioned him. I would love for you to recall your righteous degree of anger at this point, but I won't bring that up.
Oh, I remember.
So I'd like you to keep that in your mind while I'm talking. But this is an attempt by the state to do an end run around that. Now, I know later you said that if they had witnesses on the list already and they could go and then talk about things. So we had someone get up and start talking about, lyrics that wasn't initially supposed to talk about more than Nibin matches. But I don't believe that Thorpe was supposed to come up again. And this is just an attempt to get this testimony in about Mr. Kendrick's statement that was rightfully pretty much barred by you stopping Dennis. So I don't think they should be allowed to do this end run.
Okay, I barred Dennis. I didn't, but at the same time, y'all asked, well, can topics be covered? If they were going to be covered by him, could they be covered by other witnesses? And I said, as long as there was somebody on the witness list already, that they couldn't add people, but that if they already had somebody on the witness list who could cover those things, that they would be permitted to cover those things. So as long as we had Detective Thorpe somewhere on our witness list again, then I would deny that. So we had that long
I'm not, was
order
he
of
on y'all's witness list again?
witnesses. Was he on there anywhere?
I don't believe he was on there again, but before I make that representation, I'd like the state to verify that.
Well, we can check, Your Honor. I'm pretty sure he was, but if he wasn't, he was on the main witness list.
Yeah.
The rules of evidence only require that the witness be included in the witness list.
Oh, I know. I don't know if you were with us yet when we had the debacle about Detective Dennis, but that was a sanction. That wasn't an evidentiary ruling.
So Thorpe was not, I don't believe Thorpe was on the list to come back again. So this is an attempt to basically gut your sanction by bringing Thorpe back.
All right. If he was not on the witness list to be recalled, then I'm not going to permit it.
Your Honor, if I can recall our meeting at the bench, you didn't I don't believe you specified the shortened list. I think you said if he's a witness who's already been on the witness list, we could not add anyone. But if he was a witness.
Okay, we'll go back and check.
Yes, thank you.
Because that is not my recollection. My recollection is if they were going to be testifying anyway, but they could not be added.
And my recall is the same as Your Honor's. Otherwise, your sanction would be utterly meaningless.
But that was.
We're not going to argue about it right now. We're just going to go back and check and see. Somehow, not sure how, since the court reporter who took that down isn't with us right now. But we'll see what we can do. And it was at a bench conference, so there's not going to be any watching the live stream of that and getting the answer. Okay, let's turn to this jury instruction. Does everybody have the proposal from the other side? Okay.
Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth. We is live with it. Hey, I did that just to make sure y'all was paying attention. Amber, I knew that was gonna wake y'all up. I'm like, it's silent. They ain't talking about nothing. I said, watch I scare somebody. Oh, I did that on purpose, y'all. I knew somebody. Oh, so they just going back and forth over this jury thing now.
Which I'm basically kind of just putting it together, and then I'll give y'all what I'm proposing. And if y'all wanted to make sure that I can either read them in or y'all can file those as your proposals if you want to for the instructions.
And Your Honor, I was going to ask,
Yeah.
are you planning on inquiring of the jurors if any of them cannot follow this instruction or?
I mean, no.
Okay.
That's not really what we typically do. It was just, I did it because, I mean, if you're asking somebody to disregard 3 days of testimony, that's a little unusual and more than they normally have to do. So that was why I did that in that instance.
Understood.
I just normally expect them to be able to follow my instructions.
Hell no, she ain't gonna ask them because they're gonna be like, no, we can't
Your Honor, I
follow.
just want to clarify something with the court.
Man, this the one case I got so many jury things that we having to do. Jury instructions that don't make no sense.
All right, so I can send this to you, or I can read it, or both. What I'm proposing is, members of the jury, you will notice that certain of the defendants are no longer before you for reasons that do not concern you. The prosecution of those co-defendants is no longer a part of this trial. You must not speculate, make assumptions, or draw any conclusions about the possible reasons for their absence, and their absence from this trial must not in any way affect your judgment or influence your verdict as to the defendants in this case, or I could say remaining in this case. You must base your deliberations and your verdict solely on the evidence presented, and an individual determination of guilt or innocence must be made as to each defendant. Thoughts?
Thank you, Your Honor. That's fine with Mr. Kendrick.
Okay. Good for Mr. Stillwell, good for the state. All right.
And Your Honor, I just want to, since we're down to two defendants, I just want to make sure that we're still operating under the Harvey rule.
Well, I mean, do y'all want to? Unless you say differently, I'll assume a motion made by one of you is adopted by the other.
And an objection as well, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and let's see where this witness list is. So Mr. Lee's still gonna we're gonna finish up with him, and he has, I would assume at this point, been instructed not to mention any incarcerations of any of the defendants.
He has been instructed, I'm going to re-instruct again now.
All right. Okay, and did either of the remaining defendants want any sort of an instruction? As you know, we had paused because he had mentioned a quay. Well, he had understandably read part of a post that said free quay. Anybody want any kind of instruction about that? Or at this point, would it? Okay. All right, anything else before we get the jury in?
May I just approach the evidence?
Sure.
All right, seem like Slime Life Shawty gonna be the witness about to get back on the stand. Where Line Love at? Hell, Line Love, like her big fish was Jeffrey Williams. He out of there. She ain't coming back. So I'm just talking shit. I don't know. But it seemed like hell that was her big fish. She like fuck that. I'm on to something else. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. We've been at this thing for almost an hour. Trial is just about to start in a few minutes with Wooney Lee back on the stand. And we'll see how the day goes.
Thank you.
And
you know, Wooney only testified for like 10 minutes before all this shit happened.
Because we changed to standard time a couple of days ago, and that's still on daylight savings. So maybe during the break we could do that. All right. Yes, let's recess for a few minutes.
We're putting a lot of faith in our IT department, Your Honor.
I ain't about to recess for a few minutes, but yeah, he was only on the stand for like 10 minutes before he said free Quay, and everything just went doo doo doo. But like I said, y'all know it's always a debate. Oh, this witness helped Thug. This witness did that. I'm gonna be honest. From my standpoint, the only witness that helped any defendant was Wooney Lee, aka Slime Life Shouter. Cause him saying free Quay just by reading a paper that the state gave him, you know, said technically free Thug. Like nothing, no other witness did free Thug except Wooney Lee. So y'all go follow Slime Life Shouter on Instagram. Because I'm like, man, yeah, I've been looking in the comments and of course Woody said something in regards to Thug being out, and everybody was like, well, not everybody, but a lot of people was like, yeah, he helped Thug get out. Man, no, the fuck he didn't. The only witness that helped Thug get out was Wooney Lee. That's it. That was the only witness that helped anybody get out. No other witness freed anybody from this case. Because if y'all remember, the bulk of the defendants took pleas before trial. So since then, there's been many witnesses, including some of the defendants that took pleas. Up until Slime Life Shorty got on the stand, nobody had gotten a plea or gotten out. He get on the stand, not just one person, not just two people, but 4 defendants get plea deals and get out of there off of his testimony. Come on, man. I'm telling you. Slime Life Shorty, the only one who did something for the defendants as far as freeing anybody. And ultimately, he is the one who freed Thug. Ultimately, because, the deal came from what happened with him. So, from my standpoint, that's the only witness that can say, they helped free Thug, because literally he did. Let's hit his IG with a new mistrial quote idea. What should it be? I'm telling y'all, go follow Slime Life Shorty. I ain't gonna lie. I had looked up his IG in the beginning when I first was getting ready to cover the trial earlier last year, but I ain't never followed him. Normally, you got to do something like entertaining or something that caught my attention for me to follow you, because if you just like an artist I'm looking into for a second for content, I don't really follow you. But after this, I actually followed his account. He got a new follower off of this, and I was like, yeah, that's why I say every time somebody mentioned what Woody did, Thug, or what Lil D, I said, hell nah, Slime Life Shorty the only one that can say he free Thug, like for real, for real. They ain't say how long they was gonna be on recess, but here we are. For those who are just joining me, make sure you hit the like button, share the live. We're gonna be here all day until the end of court. I really want to see, I'm gonna be honest, I'm more intrigued with the trial now that Thug isn't on it, because I want to see how it's gonna end. You know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, when this case first came about, well, not first came about, when the trial first came about, because I wasn't a content creator when the actual case started. But when the trial first came about, I was interested in it because Rich Homie Quan was named as a witness, and I was intrigued to see if he was gonna, go against Thug on this case. That's what really got me on the case. As time went on, I got more interested in Young Thug part of the trial, because I started digging into the co-defendants and seeing that a lot of them bros being talking to the police for a long time. And then ultimately, you know what I'm saying, it's lagging to me, and I had to go on to other things, and we circled back around. So I ain't really covered the YSL trial for Young Thug from the beginning. So like him not being on it really wasn't like on it or whatever, wasn't really a major situation for me. But now that he's not in it, it's more interesting to me because I really want to see how it play out. Because now we don't have the celebrity attribute to the case no more. Now we don't have the big fish in it. Now we have regular people. You know, Yak Gotti is a rapper. You know, he got some interviews out or whatever, but he's not a rapper on the level of like Young Thug. So it's just gonna be intriguing to me to see how it plays out. Like I said, the two defendants that's left, I believe they're here still, not because they feel like they're winning. It's because they got offered basically the equivalent in the plea deals. Like, you want me to take 40 years on a plea deal, 40 years and still 20 years probation. And that's basically life in my eyes, right? You know, because what? They're like late 20s, early 30s, and you talking about 40 years in prison, you're going to probably die in there for sure. I mean, let's just be real. You want me to take that plea? Hell nah. I'd rather just risk it, go to the end of the trial, and see if we really winning or not. Because they're going to offer me a bunch of time anyway if I lose. And at least if I take it to the end, I got opportunity of appeal. You know what I'm saying? I got other things like that. But if I take a plea, appeals is out the way, all that, hell no, I'm going to see it through. They ain't get offered time to go home. I'm pretty sure if they got offered the opportunity to go home on probation, they would have took it. Pretty sure if they would have got offered maybe 10 years or less, they would have took it. But because they got offered 40 years, all the ain't nobody about to take that. You might want to take your chances with, you know, trial. So that's the difference, because everybody was like, and I keep saying everybody, but it ain't everybody. But a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, was like, Thug should have rolled out. He was winning. It wasn't worth the risk. You got to understand, like, Thug still, regardless of the RICO, the gang leader and all that, he still got charged with drugs, guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want this man to risk our feelings or his lawyer feeling of their winning and the jury come back guilty and his ass sitting in jail for life? Hell nah. You got a chance to go home today, and you ain't got to tell on nobody, and you ain't you know, got nothing massive to really deal with, and you got the money and the means to take care of yourself legally. Hell, y'all getting out of here. Like, for real. Yeah, I'm not taking off 40 and they offer Shannon 60 shit. Taking it to trial all the way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't make sense for them to do nothing less. You know, so it's just like, I don't think people really taking that into consideration. Like, yeah, did they prove that Young Thug was a leader of a gang? Hell no. But did Young Thug admit that he was a leader of the gang? No, he didn't. So it's like I said, it just depends on how deep you look into it and how you word it. Some people may go with Fannie Willis, like, yeah, I got a leader of a gang, but in actuality, no, you didn't. You got somebody that played NOLO to it, so you still can't even use it on nobody else. So I didn't understand why Huey could get a sweet deal, but they so-called couldn't. Well, you know, Huey, I think I said Huey the first time, but Huey didn't have no murder charges. You know what I'm saying? I think Shannon is charged with what, two or three murder, something like that. He got a lot of hurt on y'all. Not to mention how long he been sitting in there. Right. You know, when that judge said he was facing 120 years, I said, oh shit, who? I wouldn't care if a fairy came down on my shoulder and told me I was winning the case. I get out today instead of facing 120 years, I'm out of here. Like, what you talking about? I don't care. It's not worth the gamble. Like, for Yak Gotti and Shannon Stillwell, it's worth it, because if they are truly winning, then guess what? They gonna get out. They ain't gonna have to do 40, 60 years. But also with that, just because Thug was winning, it's other people in that too. That doesn't mean everybody was winning. And that's another reason I'm glad Thug is off the case too, because now, again, you get to the meat and potatoes, because really the evidence in this case is on other people. It never was about Thug. It was on other people. So now we're gonna really see who winning. Mickey, have you heard that song that Thug released about Rich Homie Quan? No, he haven't released any music though. All the music that we've been hearing from quote unquote Young Thug is AI. He hasn't released anything. 2 years. Yeah, I think he got the drinks and damn, the Thomas murder. My mind went blank just now trying to think of who I was talking about. Or Nichols, they dropped his but basically said no way they'll drop Yex. You know? And you know, with the Thomas murder, that's like the bulk of this. Like that's the center point of this thing. You see how much, like even Fannie Willis was calling the people like, "Yo, let his mom talk." And I was like, if the judge would have let her talk, I thought that was gonna look bogus. I'm gonna be on some real shit. I'm like, why the hell would this lady want to talk? Like this is a RICO. Like at the end of the day, Thug was never charged with no murders. He wasn't charged with no murder for hire. He wasn't charged with no hit. He was charged with a freaking RICO charge. So you want only one victim. Now it's multiple murders included under this RICO, right? Multiple murders. But you want just this one family to be able to speak for what? Like that shit political to me. Like that's why I'm glad the judge stood on business with that. Like the fuck, like that shit was crazy. When I first heard Love say, I'm like, why the hell would no disrespect to the family, but why the hell would his mom be speaking that?
Anything we
I was
need
back with
to
y'all.
discuss before we get the jury in, I'll instruct them and then we'll get Mr. Lee back on the stand. Nope. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the jury.
I ain't gonna lie, Hilton little Bob swinging now. Swinging. Oh, why I thought Kokomo was part of Brian Steele's team. He in there with the defense still. I wonder exactly what is his role? Like, what is he? A lawyer too? Freelance lawyer, maybe? Facts, because they tried hard, and that was effed up towards family and the state's part. They are not victims advocates. And anybody that think the state is victim advocates is crazy. I've been telling y'all that even before this trial. Like, law is not advocates for no freaking victims. Like, for some real shit. They advocates for the law. They have to work in the means of the law. So you can't be advocating for victims. They do have victims advocates that actually do things on behalf of the victims, but state prosecutors.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me mute.
So I need to give you all an instruction, members of the jury. You will notice that certain of the co-defendants are no longer before you for reasons that do not concern you. The prosecution of those co-defendants is no longer a part of this trial. You must not speculate, make assumptions, or draw any conclusions about the possible reasons for their absence, and their absence from this trial must not in any way affect your judgment or influence your verdict as to these defendants in this case. You must base your deliberations and your verdict solely on the evidence presented, and an individual determination of guilt or innocence must be made as to each defendant. All right, somebody from the state, if you all want to get Mr. Lee back on the stand, we will finish up with his testimony. Thank you.
Y'all already know they look Max and damn, what's the other one? I forgot his name already. But they waiting for a mistrial situation to come up again. So the state better be on their P's and Q's because they waiting. Why the hell I can't Weinstein? Why I can't think of Doug? Yeah, I'm tripping. All right. Morning, Lee. Let's see who you gonna free today.
All right, good morning, Mr. Lee. You can go ahead and have a seat, and I'll just remind you that you are still under oath. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Lee. How are you? All right. I'm going to pick up where we left off. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 38 NN.
He be looking spooked to me, like scared or something. Is that how he normally look? I'm new to him. He just be looking scared. Eyes be looking like he eyes some shit. I don't know. Who's doing some signal soon? Y'all see how he looking?
Mr. Lee, looking at State's Exhibit 38 NN, if you can tell us what are you wearing in 38 NN?
Shorts, jacket,
Okay.
mask.
And does the shorts and the jacket have words on it?
Yes.
What are the words?
Slap. Slap.
Do you
Make
have-
America slime again.
And what do you know who's the designer of that clothing?
Who made it?
Yes.
Miles.
Miles. Is that Miles Farley?
Yeah.
And do you call him Slatto?
Huh?
Does he have a nickname?
Miles.
Do you call him Slatto as well?
Do I call him that?
Yes.
If you go by that.
Have you called him that before?
Yeah.
All right. And in that picture, who is the person standing behind you?
Which one?
The one with his arm over your shoulder.
Look like Yak.
You said the look like, is it Yak or?
Yeah, I think that's him.
All right. And the person that's next to you in the tan jumpsuit, do you know who that is?
I don't know his name.
Okay. All right. And then the person who we can't see the face, do you sitting here now remember or know who that is?
I don't remember who that is either.
All right. Now I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 39 NN. Who is in that picture?
My two friends.
And who are they?
BB and Christian.
Okay. Do you know Christian's full name?
I forgot his last name.
Does the last name Eppinger sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I think that's it.
And BB, do you know his first name?
Rente.
And do you know whose Instagram posting this is?
I don't remember.
Do you see on the caption 2 emojis?
I can't hear you. I mean, can you say that again?
Sure. Do you see on the caption 2 emojis?
Yeah.
What are the 2 emojis?
I don't know what the first one is.
Okay.
The second one looked like a snake, or it might be like, I don't know.
Okay. All right. As an artist, have you released a song entitled Where You From?
Yes.
Okay. And are you the writer of that song?
I didn't write it, but yeah.
So you didn't write any of the lyrics?
No.
Did you write some of the lyrics?
I just said it.
Okay. When did you release that song?
I don't remember.
All right. Did you work with anyone to compose that song?
Yes.
Okay. So did you give input to the writers about the song?
Not that I know of. I don't know. The label just dropped it.
Okay. But before the label dropped, did you have to go to the studio and record it?
Yeah.
Okay. And prior to going to the studio to record the song, did you have some words on the paper? How did you know the words you were going to say in the song?
I just said it.
Okay, so you never wrote it.
Mm-mm.
You just spit it from your head.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a video from that song?
Did I shoot a video?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And have you had the opportunity with me to watch that video?
Yeah, I think we did.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been marked or previously marked as Stacy Exhibit 45NN. Is that this with the video that you watched a few weeks ago?
Yes.
All right. And when you watched that video, did it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the video that you released for this song?
Yeah.
Did it appear to have any additions or deletions?
No, not that I can recall.
Your Honor, this time the state would like to tender and admit Stacy Exhibit 45NN into evidence.
You may.
That boy just look like he be geeked up to me. It's the same with his eyes. I don't know. Like, it's the same with his eyes. I just don't know. But anyway, you know, I don't know what he just said, why they need to go talk to the side, but yeah, I don't know. Slime Light shouted. I was familiar with him prior to this, so I don't know. Like if this just his normal look, but he look like he owns something, like for real, for real. Lamar, you stupid. Time I hate Arnold football head ass. Listen, he just seemed like he on some type of drug. I'm just gonna be real. I know you can't judge a person, but it's just something with his eyes that's throwing me off. I paid attention the last time. I was thinking maybe he was just nervous, you know, but today it just seemed like he might be on something. I don't know. Something ain't right with him though. But yeah, I knew. So I was looking up and they was like prior artists of OTF. That's all. Like now he got dropped from OTF. Well, hopefully he got dropped before all the bullshit, because if they call his ass and then he gonna plead out and tell them all y'all asses in OTF. Oh shit. Too soon. Look, I wonder what happened though. Why they went to the side, like what was said. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all share the live. We're gonna be here for a long time. My plan is to cover the whole day of trial, but we'll see how it rock out. As long as y'all here, I'll be here. Y'all start going away, I'm gonna go away. But in the meantime, between time, y'all make sure y'all share the live, like, run up the comments. I'm trying my best not to do outbursts during the actual trial, so I'm in the comments. Oh, speaking of which, I got homework to do too. I need it, so I'm about to be doing my homework. But yeah. Slime Life Shorty, aka Wounded Lee, is on the stand, looking a little weird in the eyes to me, but maybe that's just his natural look. I don't know. And I don't know. I think he got wicks or something in his head. Like, is it against the law or something to touch him up? Why do people not like touching up their hair? I just don't be knowing. Man, they probably already got him. Dirty ski mask and FBI on the witness list. Shit. Listen, I don't know, but I know this just sidebar that the FBI got 10 more days to indict Lil Durk. So we should get an indictment within the next 10 days. If not, they got to let him go. So far, to my understanding, he hasn't been indicted, but if we don't get one by the 14th, on the 15th, he got to get let go per law. So y'all keep y'all ears and eyes open for that, because we should be having an indictment to go over. But if not, y'all know I'll be the first one to say, hey, they must ain't had what they said they had, because they had to let them go. So if you didn't know, on a federal level, when they file a complaint or an affidavit for your arrest, they have 14 and 21 days to formally indict you, or you have to be released. Okay. So that's why I said they have until the 14th of November. And that's about the Lil Durk case, okay? So yeah, we just sitting here waiting. Shout out to everybody for pulling up. Yeah, we'll see. All right, I might go on mute. They shouldn't be too long. I might start my homework. Okay, I'm gonna stay off mute because I might say that's gonna be a little bit too much. Y'all can just let me do my homework, and I'll talk until they come back on. I don't want to leave y'all silent too long. Not too long. I did peep something they saying like some. You know what? Now that I think about it, I see maybe why some of y'all was like, "It might hurt the defendants now that Thug is not there." Because you heard what Sharp said earlier. Oh, there was some evidence that was favorable to like get Young Thug off, and they chose not to include it. But then all of a sudden, you know, now that he's not on there, they trying to bring it in. So that might be a lot of what we start seeing in this case or in this trial. They're going to drop the indictment the night of the 14th, and I'm sure it's not going to be strong evidence in it for real besides what's already in the complaint. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because to be honest, if you go off of just that, a grand jury of your peers is definitely going to indict you on that. Because, like, just off of that, because, you know, in a grand jury, you don't get a bunch of, like, you don't get to hear two sides. You only hear one side. So I think they'll have enough to indict them just based off of what's in it. Yeah, it don't take much. Me and my daddy was actually having a back and forth about it because he keeps saying he wasn't indicted. I'm like, Daddy, you've been indicted for months. No, I wasn't. I'm like, so yeah, we had an argument about indictments yesterday. I tell y'all, if y'all only could hear me and my daddy's conversation, I'll be ready to strangle that man like, bruh. But anyway, yeah. So you don't need to be too strong for it. Somebody head moving. Is it about to start? Yeah, I think to me, if they don't actually get somebody to tell, they ain't gonna have that much strong information. I think it's gonna start with stop with those that's under Dirk. And as long as they don't say nothing, I think Dirk is gonna be fine. That's just my opinion on it right now. Oh, and another thing, as far as with Young Thug, I think somebody had commented on one of my videos. Oh, now the families can sue Thug because he pleaded out to no, they can't.
From us
He didn't know
for
though.
over a week that we need a few minutes, but we need a few minutes. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna excuse y'all to the jury room.
All right, let me finish this thought. So yeah, they can't sue Nuts family. Nobody can't sue Thug because he did not get found guilty of being a leader of the gang. So he's not liable for a civil suit. If they got another mistrial already, that shit crazy.
Okay, so our first video is 45NN, which is being offered to show that it's filmed in the Cleveland Avenue area, and then connections with, and I think you said assertions about gang activity. Is that right? Okay, so let's go ahead and watch and listen to this one. And then you said there are 2 more or 3 more?
One more music video.
Okay.
Which we believe is a party opponent admission. That's Mr. Stillwell's music video. And then there is not a video, Your Honor, but a vlog or a vlog video in which Mr. Lee and others are in.
Okay.
Where y'all nigga from? Ain't heard about y'all nigga. Oh God. Where you from, nigga? You from where? Let me call these folk real fast. but nothing about you, sir. Look inside my eye, this ain't no cap or no facade. Where I'm from, them young niggas go down, feel the ride. Where I'm from, don't care about where you from, fuck your squad. For me, you with the paper, we some bad boys. Where you from, throw your shit. 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 Where you from, throw that shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from? I'm from Lee. Throw your setup. I said, see where I'm from. These hoes be the setup. But where I'm from, nigga talk too much, then get wet up. And where I'm from, we told drunk, we don't let up. Goddamn, where I'm from, the slime underrated shit, the most hated. The ops hated, cause we getting this paper and we decking cases. Bitches fakers, we done dog them all, now they switching in trade. The city break, 7.62, I'm a rock crew there, baby. 7.62, I'm a rock crew there, baby. How the hell boo rat, little nigga, where the statement? See Lil Shannon, he the one that had them running with that cannon. Niggas clicking up like bitches, watch that acting, yeah. Look inside my eye, this ain't no cop no facade. Where I'm from, them young niggas go down, feel the ride. Where I'm from, don't care about where you from, fuck your squad. For me, you with the paper, we some bad boys. Where you from, throw your shit. 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 Where you from, throw that shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. ATLANTAGA, that's where I'm from. South Carolina, where I stay, aka the slum. I'ma rock that crew, thug and boo, you know the song. They know about tick, they know about Nick, you think you slick, split his tongue. Tongue still walking, poked out down the road with them folks, he still walking. Still on the block with block life very often. Who the jacket out, he wear life, now he boss. Everything was slime, still. I'm slime, nigga. I ain't shit chain, nigga, shit still, nigga, slime. Only the guys, only the bros, only the slime from your hole, you know. Only the guys. Inside my eye, this ain't no cap or no facade. Where I'm from, them young niggas go down, feel the ride. Where I'm from, don't care about where you from, fuck your squad. For me, you with the paper, we some bad boys. Where you from, throw your shit. 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 Where you from, throw that shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. You know. There's people on this snake, man. Free the guys, you know, free to roll down the road. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I came from them too. Like Thorpe, nigga.
The entirety of the lyrics of this song is a part of the order that was filed. In this case, the lyrics order, Your Honor, it's enumerated as number 13 on the lyrics order.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, just as a general proposition, I'm not sure why Wooney Lee performing under Slime Life Shorty, a music video that he puts out, would be admissible in this case against my client and Mr. Kendrick for that matter. Well, I understand the argument that they're all co-conspirators, and I understand that that's a jury question, but I'm struggling on the furtherance of a conspiracy, because I can't believe that we would all take the view and just take the view as a society that every song written is somehow in furtherance of a conspiracy, even if it's written by someone who's under investigation, as Wooney Lee was at one time. I'm not sure when this song was published, but to me, just because Wooney Lee was once a co-conspirator doesn't mean his out-of-court statements just come in. And in this song, he engages in fiction and in hyperbole. Says, free Shannon, he the one who had them ranning with that cannon. Those words I would submit are part of this song because they happen to rhyme. but just because they happen to rhyme doesn't make them accurate or have trustworthiness or admissibility. And I would certainly object to just playing the song written by someone else that Mr. Stillwell has nothing to do with the writing, the lyrics, the production of, that references him committing crimes with firearms. That seems highly inappropriate, and I'm not sure what rule of evidence would dictate that that would be admissible.
All right, if these lyrics have already been litigated, though, we're not going to relitigate them now. So I think this was covered in that prior order.
These specific words are covered in the order on page. I want to get cite to the right page within the order, Your Honor. On page 35 of the order, when we list the lyrics that were litigated.
Well, I'll just put on the record that I wasn't exactly heard during that hearing. I don't believe, that's my personal feeling, and I'm just going to ask for, if we're sticking with the ruling back then, I'm going to ask for a continuing objection, and I just want to make
All
sure
right,
my
you can
objections are
have a
noted.
continuing objection, and to whatever extent you might be asking reconsideration, there is enough there that by a preponderance, this could be admissible under the co-conspirator exception. Now, whether the jury ultimately thinks that is the case or not is up to them, but evidentially speaking, the state has met its burden.
And Your Honor, the only thing I want to add is just the portion, and I don't want to relitigate all the lyrics, the portion about Free Little Rod, I would ask that that be redacted from the video as impermissible character evidence. I do appreciate that it's in the indictment, but it's in like page 40 something of the indictment.
Well, the jury's going to have the indictment back with them when they go to deliberate. So whatever page it's on, they'll have an opportunity to look at it. And, you know, they'll be instructed to consider all of the issues that they're supposed to be considering in this case. So.
Yeah, and if I don't have case law at hand, and I don't even know if it would support my position, Your Honor, but it just seems that doing an end run around the rules of evidence by putting something in an indictment.
All right, well, that's not what the law holds, so I'm going to overrule your objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Y'all are not going to highlight that particular little 3 words though, right? Okay. All right, next video. So that one is admissible and admitted over objection. What's the next? Can y'all queue up the next one? And what's the exhibit number for the next one?
Your Honor, this will be 47 NN.
Okay. And is this, you said this was a music video by Mr. Stillwell?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how is Mr. Lee introducing this one?
Because he's in the video, Your Honor.
Okay. And this you would be offering as what? You said an admission by a party opponent?
Yes, Your Honor. And this was also included in our lyrics order as well.
And so that's already, okay. So lyrics wise, that determination has already been made. And you plan to play it also because there's something visually we need to see?
Yes, Your Honor. This music video was also filmed at the same, we believe the same Exxon gas station or Texaco gas station, as well as Mr. Stillwell is wearing a YSL chain in the video. They, some individual in the video used the YSL hand signals in the video. And it's only 30
Lord have
seconds.
mercy, we have litigated that issue to death and y'all have shown that over and over and over again. So do we need it for anything other than that?
I believe the fact that they are filming it in the same location, which we believe is.
All right. Can you show that in like a 20-second clip?
The whole video is 38 seconds, Your Honor. So it's a very short video.
Let's just watch it.
And I ain't fucking no pack, I'm trying to rob him. And I keep a stick, ain't no void, no smoke. Drop top, cool. Looking for who? Let it bang when you view. That's safe for you. Get you flipped in the scene, I'm on Rodeo. I'm that slime they always talk about. Hashtag never touching them. I just beat a murderer. Pay my lawyer 30 for that. And my slime's above the law. Ain't walking no court at all. Slime we open the door for y'all young niggas. Wait for these bodies off. And I wipe your nose in your family face and just slide it off.
So he uses other language that we've discussed as far as wipe your nose. There's other individuals. Mr. Nichols is in this video as well as Mr. Lee is in this video, Your Honor. So the 38 seconds does more than just speak of co-conspirator statements, but also other evidence regarding the enterprise, Your Honor.
Can I just ask a question because it's unclear to me? When we're saying the same text code, what are we?
I believe that's the location at 151 Cleveland Avenue.
Oh, okay. Cleveland Avenue.
All right. Any further argument?
I would just like a continuing objection. I know it, I acknowledge it's been litigated.
All right. And then what's the third one?
Your Honor, the third one is, I guess they call it vlogs, video logs, Your Honor. There's only certain timestamps that are relevant, and so I can point to the certain timestamps that are actually relevant.
And then we'd only play those?
Only the relevant sections, yes.
be-
We only
okay.
play the relevant portions. It's a 12-minute video, so we're cutting it down.
All right. So just play the portions that you would propose to play.
So the first, Your Honor, is going to be 0 seconds to 18 seconds.
Tell me what the is going on.
I got about 24,000 on me right now. I feel like Kobe. 24 shots, 15 drop it on the podium. Before I go, I'ma drop 20 more.
We're going to not play it from PowerPoint, just play the actual video.
Whose vlog is this?
The vlog is called A Night with YSL and 4L.
Right. Who posted it?
Hold on.
And is Mr. Lee in it?
Yes.
Okay. And is this offering anything new?
Yes.
What?
So it shows Mr. Lee, they're at a music studio. There's a portion that shows Mr. Williams in the video. It shows Mr. Kendrick in the portion. It shows Mr. Farley in the video. And then specifically, Your Honor, there's a portion in which Mr. Lee, in speaking with the cameraman and another individual, says something to the effect of, that's why we put that shit on a nigga's tombstone, Your Honor. And what we have is a picture of, that's already been admitted, of the word slat across Donovan Thomas's tombstone. And so he specifically said they're actually talking about slime right before he makes that comment. And he does his finger over his mouth as in to say, shh, that's why we put that shit on the nigga's tombstone. And again, we have a picture of slats over Mr. Donovan
Like
Thompson.
superimposed over
his mother went
his
to
actual tombstone has.
We could show you the picture, Your Honor.
Okay, well, that I don't know how that could possibly fit with your theory of the case, but it's your case, so okay.
How slat across Donovan Thompson's tombstone.
Don't help him, Judge.
That's the opposition gang defacing.
I know that makes it really weird, but it's not for me to determine. Let me see that part of the video.
Right, because Donovan Thomas was allegedly in blood. Don't let them walk themselves down.
Real heartbroken. These niggas on life support. What that was say on top?
God.
Good luck, boy.
Okay, good luck. Oh shit, what's my God?
Mount Zion Road on that. Mount Zion Road. The nigga was not at the bottom. Shit been telling on me. And ESPN got bomb on me because we blowing nigga down. True. A long child with heart, you know what I'm saying, heartbroken kid shit.
I got ill out in 17.
Get what?
I refer young nigga with slime.
This shit is in blood. We wrote this shit in blood.
I probably had it before slime.
And we also wrote it on nigga too.
For your tattoos at?
Stop it right here, then we can show you the picture of slat written over Mr. Thomas's tombstone. Additionally, there's a section where Mr. Lee says, "We have more stuff than you," and then he says, "The only thing y'all have more than us is dead niggas." So that's another portion that
Deadness?
dead and words. Dead and words.
Oh, okay. All right, so you would then propose to play those two portions because the rest of it before then.
And there's one more portion that has Mr. Darius Ford.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that Donovan Thomas's mother had slat engraved on her son's tombstone.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I got you now.
Okay.
It's graffiti over his tombstone.
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right, so, but the previous portions that are just, it's this person and that person, the other person, we already know all of that, right? So it would just be these two portions?
And then one last portion, Your Honor, that I don't think associates Mr. Lee with Darius Ford, who was killed, is in this video as well. And that's a small portion at 9:08 to 9:11.
You're going to show that, or?
Yes. I'm
Okay,
gonna show it to you.
so it's going to be the 3:18 to 3:46 and potentially 9:08 to 9:11.
And then the portion that said where he says the only thing they have more is dead N words, which
Okay.
is 054 to 133.
0:54 to 1:33?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
We can pause right there. That's Mr. Ford, Your Honor.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'll hear from the defense on those three portions.
Regarding the graffiti,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it seems to me like this is something that would be asked of Mr. Lee. And then if he, potentially this could be impeachment, but I don't know why the out-of-court statement in and of itself would be admissible.
Okay, so can y'all just ask him, during the filming of some video, did you say?
You're right. I think it is important for the jury to see the context in which he made this statement. This is not just hey, did you say this? They were literally talking about YSL, slime. He's showing his every slime play nasty. ESPN, we believe, is every slime play nasty tattoos. And then in the course of that, literally brags about putting something on someone's tombstone, Your Honor. Me asking him does not give the jury any of the context around how he said it, when he said it, and the fact of the matter is the smugness of what he says about it.
The what?
Why he says it. And
No, I heard just the last part.
The smugness.
The smugness
of
with
how
which
he says that. And I think that that is important when this enterprise is claiming to not have killed Mr. Thomas, and it is the state's theory that this enterprise were the ones responsible for Mr. Thomas's death, and essentially even after his death, bragged about it in songs, in music, and in videos such as this.
All right, I'm going to permit that. Yes. All right, if that's the only issue, then those other two portions are admitted without objection, and we can go ahead and get Mr. Lee and the jury back in.
This shit here got me scratching my head. Like, I don't know. I tell you, it's hard to read with Whitaker for sure. Yeah, it's gonna take something massive like that. But it have to be a witness. The defense can't just blurt it out though, because it ain't gonna be the same. But like a witness just blurt it out or some shit like that, hell yeah.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hilton. That exhibit is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Permission to publish State's Exhibit 45NN.
Where y'all nigga from? Ain't heard about y'all nigga. I'm good. Where you from, nigga? You from where?
Let me call these folk real fast. Don't know nothing about you, sir. Look inside my eye, this ain't no cap or no facade. Where I'm from, them young niggas go down, feel the ride. Where I'm from, don't care about where you from, fuck your squad. Familiar with the paper, we get some bad boys. Where you from, throw your shit. 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 Where you from, throw that shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from? I'm from Bleed. Throw your setup. I said, see where I'm from. These hoes be the setup. But where I'm from, nigga talk too much, then get wet up. And where I'm from, we told drunk, we don't let up. Damn, where I'm from, slime on the radio shit, the most hated. Ops hated, cause we getting this paper and we ducking cases. Bitches fakers, we done dog them all, now they switching in trade. The city break, 7.62, I'ma rock through that, baby. 7.62, I'ma rock through that, baby. How the hell boo rat, little nigga, where the statement? Free Lil Shannon, he the one that had them running with that cannon. Niggas clicking up like bitches, watch start acting, yeah. Look inside my eye, this ain't no cap or no facade. Where I'm from, them young niggas go down, feel the ride. Where I'm from, don't care about where you from, fuck your squad. Familiar with the paper, we get some bad boys. Where you from, throw your shit. 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 Where you from, throw that shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. ATLANTAGA, that's where I'm from. South Atlanta, where I stay, aka the slum. I'ma rock that crew, thug and boo, you know the song. They know about tick, they know about Nick, you think you slick, spit his tongue. Toot still walking, poked out down the road with them folks, you still walking. Still on the block with block life very often. Who the jacket out, he wet life, now he bossing. Everything was slime, still. I'm slime. Ain't shit changed, nigga, shit still, nigga, slime. Only the guys, only the bros, only the slime fucking your hoe, you know. Only the guys. Inside my eye, this ain't no cap or no facade. Where I'm from, them young niggas go down, feel the ride. Where I'm from, don't care about where you from, fuck your squad. Familiar with the paper, we get some bad boys. Where you from, throw your shit. 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 Where you from, throw that shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. Where you from, throw your shit. You know. There's people on that snake, man. Free the guys, you know, free to roll down the road. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
We're going to end it at 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Just a few questions. Where was that video, like portions that was at a gas station? Where was that gas station located?
well, right here,
Yes.
on Cleveland.
Okay. Do you know the address on Cleveland, where it is?
No.
Let me ask you, is this the gas station that is across from the old McDonald's?
It might be a Chevron. I don't know which one it is.
Okay. Now, in that song, you talk about the ops. Who would you consider to be the ops of YSL?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Somebody in the song. I mean, in the song, I don't know who I was talking about. It's just something cool to use or say in your song.
What about outside of the song? You said that YSL is a gang the last time we talked. Who would be considered the ops of YSL, the gang?
I guess whoever say they is.
Who would you consider to be some of the ops of YSL, the gang?
Nobody.
Nobody. Okay. Do you consider YFN Lucci an op of YSL?
I don't consider him a YSL.
Within Instagram, have you ever talked about Lucci specifically with other individuals of YSL?
Yes.
And have you talked about him in a positive way, a negative way? What do you think?
Maybe clowning.
You clowned him?
Yeah, or laughing at something.
Okay. Do you recall ever speaking with Mr. Garlington about YFN Lucci specifically?
Yeah, it was a post on Instagram that was funny.
Do you ever recall speaking to Mr. Garlington in a direct message about YFN Lucci?
About a post that was made on Instagram, yes.
Okay. And do you recall what your conversation was with him, with Mr. Garlington?
Nah, I don't remember it by heart.
Your Honor, while Mr. Shar is looking at that.
Now I hope old Wonderly don't get up there and back himself in the corner and get locked up for lying like Moonton. At this point, just I think with his, they have a lot of Instagram stuff for him. He's with the younger crowd, the Lil Rod, the Christian Eppingers, and stuff like that. And it sounds like, as far as the theory, that the state is saying, maybe those is under Lil D, aka Garlington, because they mentioned him as being a point of contact. So shit, if anything, if I had to guess, shit, he probably was the leader of the new school, not Young Thug. And to be honest, if I was a prosecution, I would have split this up into two parts. I would have just went after like the older ones for the murders that was committed during that time frame, and left the younger ones on a different case, because it seemed like they trying to combine the younger crew and the older crew, and it don't align well. They should have just split it up. That's just my little theory on that.
You have permission to approach? Yes. Mr. Lee, I'm going to show you what's been marked as 69 and N. And looking at 69 and N on the first page, page 1296, I want to direct you towards the bottom of the page. Do you see a message between yourself and an individual, Scarface, spelled SXAR_FAXE?
Yeah.
And looking at the bottom of that page, do you see a conversation in which Scarface sends you a message that says, "On God, what them N-words must done"? They said something crazy. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And is that message on February 19th, 2019?
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you see something where you respond to him and say that N-word Lucci and some N-words said something about don't say slat because they rats?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. And is that also on February 19th, 2019?
Yeah.
Right. And then does Scarface respond to you on the same day and say, F them boys, I'll have to talk to you in person?
Yeah.
And then on the second page, do you respond, say no more slime?
Yeah.
All right. And is that you talking about YFN Lucci?
I think, I don't know, because I don't remember the post, but I think so. I mean, I don't know who else that could be.
Okay. All right. Now, have you had the occasion to be in a video of a rap song with Mr. Shannon Stillwell?
You said, did I do a video with him?
Have you been in a video with him with one of his songs?
I think so. I don't know if it was his song, but yeah, he was on there.
Okay. And have you had the opportunity to look at that video in preparation for your testimony?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 47NN. Is that the video with Mr. Stillwell that you are also in the video?
On the CD you just gave me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Your Honor, this time the state would like the tender states Exhibit 47NN into evidence.
All right, that's admitted, subject to the continuing objection.
And I ain't serving no pack, I'm trying to rob him. And I keep a stick, ain't no avoiding no smoke. Drop top, coupe, looking for who? Let it bang when you feel that's safe for you. Get you flipped in the shit, I'm on rodeo. I'm that slime they always talk about. Hash they never touching them. I just beat a murderer. Pay my lawyer 30 for that. Man, my slime's a butter law. Ain't want no cut it off. Soon as we open the door for y'all, young nigga, wait sure these bodies off. And I wipe your nose in your family face and just slide it off.
Now, on the side of that video, on the caption, do you see where it says OG.Bull slat talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Is slat a word that is used by members of YSL?
Slap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does slat mean?
Your Honor, if we were to publish this, I'm going to ask if there's a way we could move that box so that the jurors could fully.
I can't see what you're seeing on that screen, but if it's one of those gray boxes that seems to float a lot of times, can y'all do something about that?
We can't.
I can't even see what it looks like.
It's the podium screen, but I don't think it fits. I don't think it fixed the other cameras.
Well, this is the one the jury sees.
Right, it's still.
Is it on that
Yeah.
one?
We're good. Thank you, Mr. Field.
Fixed?
Yes.
Okay,
fixed.
great.
Blurry, but fixed. What does slat mean?
It's just a word to use, like lingo.
Okay.
Slat.
And does slat have a
Anything.
specific?
It can mean anything you want. I mean, however you want to use it.
Does slats mean slime love all the time?
If you want to use it in that way, you can. But It's up to however you want to use it.
Have you used that to mean slime love all the time?
Not that I can't remember. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you recall taking a plea in this case?
Yes.
And do you recall filling out some documentation when you took the plea in this case?
Yes.
All right. And in that documentation, was there a definition of what slap means?
I don't remember by heart.
Okay. Will taking a look at a copy of your plea agreement help refresh your memory as to whether or not there was a definition of what slime love all the time means?
No, I didn't say that wasn't a definition. I'm just saying, like, you asked me what do it mean. I'm telling you, it can mean whatever you want it to mean, however you want to use it.
So just so I'm clear though, is that one of the ways you can use it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't be a moon tune. Stick to whatever they told you to say.
Now,
Shit.
in that video, where was that video? Where was that video filmed?
Can you put it back up here? I wasn't even paying attention.
Sure. In looking at that freeze frame, are you able to tell where that video was filmed?
I can't really see the background, but I just know it's outside.
Okay. Does that look like the same gas station where your video was filmed?
I don't remember. That's why I asked, can you play it again? But it might be. I don't know.
Okay. We'll play a few seconds of it.
I'm trying to rob him. And I keep a stick. Ain't no avoiding no fuck.
Yeah, that's like a gas station.
The same gas station where your video was filmed?
It might be. I don't know.
Okay. And in that video, do you see Miles Farley?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you also see Mr. Quamarvius Nichols in that video?
I don't know. I don't know. If he was, I wasn't paying attention.
And in that video, is Mr. Stillwell wearing a YSL chain?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And to your knowledge, do you know if Mr. Stillwell was ever signed to YSL, the record label?
I don't know. I know he was trying to get signed.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, a few years ago, did you have the occasion to be present at a hearing involving Mr. Rodalius Ryan and Damone Blaylock?
Yes.
And were you present in that hearing to support Mr. Ryan and Mr. Blaylock?
Yes.
Okay. At some point during the course of that hearing, did you ever send a brain emoji or a rat emoji to a young lady by the name of R. Smith?
Can you repeat that?
Sure.
I'm coughing.
At some point during the course of that hearing, did you ever send a brain emoji and a rat emoji to a young lady by the name of R. Smith?
Think so, yeah.
Excuse me, M. Smith. Sorry. What was your purpose of sending a rat emoji?
Because she was lying.
And why did you send her a brain emoji?
Because she was lying, and I just didn't know what was wrong with her brain.
Did you make any postings about Mr. Ryan after that hearing? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. And Your Honor, I think we need to approach just very briefly.
All right.
Now, in the picture that you posted, do you remember the words that you said? Just generally, do you remember the words that you said?
What picture?
I believe I asked you after that hearing, did you post Mr. Ryan on social media?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And do you recall that post?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall the words that you said in the post?
Yeah.
All right. Specifically, I'm going to ask you about a portion that says, I'm sorry we made you thug early. Excuse me. P.S. I'm sorry we made you thug early, little thug. Do you recall posting that?
Yes.
Okay. What made you post that?
I was listening to a song and it reminded me of his situation. That's the lyrics to a song, Lil Boosie song.
Okay. And what specifically about we made you thug reminded you of Mr. Ryan?
Like in the song, he referenced to himself as how the streets or your environment can take a childhood away from a kid, whether you're guilty or innocent or whatever the situation is. And I just felt like that related to his situation, that he had to grow up in the streets, and streets can strip a child of a childhood.
All right. Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may.
And showing you what's been marked as 44 NN, is this the post that you made?
Yes.
All right. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the post that you made? Does it look like the post?
Oh,
that you
yeah.
made? All right. Your Honor, this time to state like the tender 44 NN is evidence.
Subject to prior objection.
All right. Can y'all approach, please? And we're going to take a quick bathroom break while we discuss this next thing.
Y'all make sure y'all get the lights up. I got a star on my eye. That junk hurt. Y'all, my blood pressure. I just had to cuss my dad's attorney out just now. Well, the paralegal for my dad's attorney. Shit got my blood pressure up. Anyway, I thought they was going. I think they going on a brief recess. Shoot, hold on, y'all. My dog, I don't know where this thing came from. All of a sudden, my eye feel heavy. Looked in the mirror and it's already swollen a little bit. All right, what we got going on? I know Black Light had said earlier, do you think Thug was guilty? And I'm like, guilty of what? Because y'all know this guilty of innocence thing ain't really what it is. You know, I can only tell you based off the legal system is that he pled guilty to multiple charges and he accepted responsibility for it. Anything outside of that, I don't know. You know, and that's normally how the legal system works. It's not really about innocence or guilt. It's if it was proven, you accept the responsibility, or it wasn't proven. So that's just that. But y'all, my blood pressure up. Like this lady done pissed me the hell off. And I don't even like bucking on attorneys in they offices like that. But that lady just tried me. And you know what? And that's the part about the legal system that a lot of people don't know unless they done had experience with the court. Hold on 1 second. Unless they done had experience with the court, is that these people be trained just like any other customer service position to tell you one thing, but if you don't have the experience or you're not in the field to know how it goes, they will get shit over on you. And this lady just tried me like I ain't knew what was going on or what to expect. And I just had to kind of flex a muscle on her to let her know I ain't no dimwit or just no regular daughter that's calling up here to talk to you about something. I know what the fuck going on. You ain't about to damn just try to pacify me with no bullshit. And I normally don't even like to buck up, but I had to buck up on that hoe just now, and it got my blood pressure up. Huh. And it be so much different. Like, yeah, I can go on and on about that shit, but that shit ain't got my blood pressure. I need to take a few minutes to get my blood because my hand is shaking. I was ready to walk up in the office on her ass, how she done pissed me off. But anyway, y'all, they on a brief recess. I need a few minutes break. So I'm just going to mute up for right now and I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back for them. If not, we'll talk on the next break.
Sure. We'll just probably take her after lunch. We'll just get through Mr. Lee and then break for lunch.
Thank you. We appreciate that,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right, let's get the jury, please. Thank you. Y'all can be seated. And states 44, the picture is admitted. Go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
Thank you. May we publish 44N?
Okay.
Now, is that the picture of the post that you made?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a few moments ago, we talked about you sending the witness a rat emoji and a brain emoji. Have you heard the term snitching?
Have I heard the term?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Of course.
And what does snitching mean?
Telling on somebody or lying on somebody to make them go down for something.
And have you seen the rat emoji associated with snitching, or rats? That's a rat associated with snitching.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a location called The Web in the Cleveland Avenue area?
I'm familiar with hearing the term, hearing the word, yeah.
And what is The Web?
It could be like wherever you decide to go chill at.
Well, I'm talking specifically, are you familiar with a specific location in the Cleveland Avenue area called The Web?
It's multiple places called the web.
Are they all in the Cleveland Avenue area?
No.
Okay, so I'm talking specifically about Cleveland Avenue. Do you have a place in Cleveland Avenue that you are familiar with called The Web?
Yes.
Okay. Where is it located?
The park,
When you say the park, what do you mean?
Cleveland Avenue Park.
Okay. Are you familiar with a home that is called The Web in Cleveland Avenue?
Yeah, I heard somebody say that before.
Have you ever been to The Web?
Not that I can remember. I don't think so.
Do you know what street it is on?
On Cleveland.
Now, as an artist, do you all sometimes do vlog videos or vlog videos?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe to the jury what is a vlog video?
Just a video that you make. I mean,
What happened?
A vlog is just a video.
And what normally is happening in the video?
People talking or doing stuff. I don't know, whatever you want to do in the vlog video.
Have you had the occasion to do a vlog video titled "A Night with 4L and YSL"?
I know the video that you're talking about, but it's not my vlog video.
Are you in the vlog video?
Yes.
At portions, do you talk to the camera in that video?
Yes.
At portions, do you take the actual camera and start filming other people in the video?
Yeah.
All right. What is 4L?
For life.
Is 4L also a group?
It can be if you want it to be, but it's basically anybody can use it. Like,
have you had an opportunity to look at that video prior to your testimony today?
Can't say that again.
Have you had the opportunity to look at that video prior to your testimony today?
I think, yeah.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 46 and in. Is that the video that we are referencing?
Yeah. That's the title of it, I think.
Your Honor, this time the state would like to admit 46 and publish the relevant portions.
All right, that's admitted.
First, we're going to start at 9:08 seconds into the video. Crazy, man. And we're going to pause. The individual with the white shirt with the cup in his hand, who is that?
You said with the what in his hand?
The white shirt and the cup in his hand.
Look like Big.
Do you know Big's real name?
Darius.
All right. And the person with the pink hat, who is that?
I can't see their face that good. Okay. It look like R5.
R5?
Yeah.
Do you know his real name?
No.
Okay. All right. Now I want to show you starting at 54 seconds to 1 minute and 33 seconds.
Y'all know we in tour. You better keep your distance. Don't come to no club. Don't come outside. Don't do shit. Stay your ass in your mama house. Baby, your mama basement. Making beats and shit. Bring your ass.
Now, first things first, is that you?
Right there. Yeah.
Okay. And that's you speaking, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, look though. You niggas soft as fuck. You niggas I got more money than you nigga. More you nigga have. More brr than you nigga have. More whatever. I don't think y'all nigga got more than us. Is dead now.
This in your video? Yeah.
You niggas got more dead niggas. Than us. Hey, I don't think these niggas got more than us is dead niggas.
And we'll pause right there. Is that you when you said the only thing that they have more of us is dead in words?
You said, was that me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, lastly, I'm going to show you 3 minutes and 18 seconds to 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
What you say, 3 minutes on what?
I'm going to show you 3 minutes and 18 seconds to 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
What that was say though? What that was say on top?
God.
Good luck, boy.
Okay, good luck.
Good
Oh
luck.
shit, what's my God?
Zion Road on now. Mount Zion Road, your nigga was not at the bottom. Shit been telling on me. At ESPN, got bomb on me because we blowing nigga down. True. A long child with heart, you know what I'm saying? Heartbroken kid, shit.
I got ill out in 13.
Get what?
I refer young nigga with son.
And I'm going to pause right here for a quick second. You said that you had ESPN tattooed on you. What does ESPN mean?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard every slime play nasty?
Yeah.
Is that one of the meanings of ESPN?
I guess if you want it to be.
Have you ever used ESPN to mean every slime play nasty?
Not that I can recall. I don't remember.
Okay. When you tattooed that on your body, did you tattoo it to mean anything specific?
I seen somebody with it first and it looked cool and I got it.
Are there other members of YSL that have that ESPN tattoo?
I don't know. It's in blood. We wrote this shit in blood.
I probably had it before slime.
And we also wrote it on niggas.
Where your tattoos at?
And did you say we wrote that shit on blood? We also wrote that shit on a nigga tombstone?
ESPN.
No, we'll go back. You can tell me what you were referencing.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, you just said what?
What you said.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah, shit.
I got ill out in 13.
Get what?
I refer young nigga with slime.
This shit is in blood. We wrote this shit in blood.
I probably had it before slime.
And we also wrote it on niggas' tombstone.
Where your tattoos at?
You said we wrote that shit in blood, and we also wrote that shit on a nigga's tombstone and went like this. Shh.
That would it sound like I said.
All right. I want to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 4Y. Showing you what's been admitted as 4Y. I want to zoom in. Is that a tombstone?
It looked like it.
Okay. Are you able to see the name of the tombstone? The name on the tombstone?
It say Don. I don't know what the rest of it say, but Thomas Jr.
All right. And do you see the word SLAT graffitied over his tombstone?
Yes.
And I asked you earlier about the ops. Would Donovan Thomas Jr. be considered an op of YSL?
I don't know. Not that I know of. I don't know.
Court's indulgence for a moment.
All right, Mr. Charter, Mr. Weinstein.
Mr. Lee, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm all right.
All right. My name is Max Charter. I represent Shannon Stillwell. Okay, and you know Shannon, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Want to ask you about this, the picture you just saw of the tombstone. You ever see that picture before today?
When they showed it to me, I think.
When who showed it to you?
She showed it to me last week, I think.
She being the prosecutor?
Yeah.
Miss Hilton?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and you on that vlog, I think you're calling it a vlog, you made a reference to a tombstone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and were you referencing Donovan Thomas's tombstone?
No.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you about Donovan Thomas's tombstone, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did you deface Donovan Thomas's tombstone?
No. I actually thought that was I thought somebody just made that. I didn't know somebody actually went there and did that to his real tombstone in real life.
So when you're saying you actually thought that, are you talking about when you made that vlog? You thought that, or?
I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't talking about his tombstone because I was talking about ESPN, and I said we wrote ESPN on the nigga tombstone. I never said we wrote Slack on the nigga tombstone. I ain't hear that in the video. So I wasn't talking about his tombstone.
Okay. So let me just ask you this. You said you personally did not deface any have you defaced any tombstones?
No.
Okay. Have you been present for the defacing of any tombstones?
No.
Okay. Regarding the picture you just saw on the screen of Donovan Thomas's, or the tombstone that said Donovan Thomas, do you personally know who did that?
No.
Okay. Do you know if it was one of your friends that did that?
I think I would know if they did that, but I don't know them doing that.
Do you know if it was another rapper who did that?
No, I never heard nobody. I never found out or heard nobody say they knew who did something like that.
Do you know if it was a fan who did that?
I don't know who did it.
Do you know when it was done?
No.
Okay. Mr. Lee, what is your profession?
Music.
Okay, you're a musical artist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and in common terms, you're a rapper, you're a hip hop artist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you a little bit about your profession, okay? Is that okay? All right. When did you start deciding that maybe you wanted to be a musical artist? What age?
I think when I got out of high school, like 18, probably. Around 18.
Okay. Is that when you started, and how old are you now?
25.
Okay. Is that at age 18, is that when you started rapping and working on your craft, or had you been working on it before?
I mean, I worked on it before, but that's when I took it serious.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about before you started taking it serious. Okay. When did you start writing down lyrics?
8th grade.
8th grade. Okay. Did you, I understand that you, as an 8th grader, you might not have been taking it serious, or as you view serious as now, but if I asked 8th grade Mr. Looney Lee what he wants to be, did you want to be a rapper back then?
I think I did. I just didn't have the confidence.
And did you grow up in the Cleveland Avenue area?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you the only person in your class who wanted to be a rapper?
No.
Okay. Did a lot of the young men and women, boys and girls that you went to school with, want to be rappers?
Yeah.
Is that a common dream in the neighborhood that you're from?
Yeah. It's almost the only dream.
Okay. Now, 8th grade, we're talking about age 13. Is that fair?
I think so.
Okay, so we got, and you testified that you started taking things serious at age 18. So we got about 5 years between 13 and 18. That were you doing music that entire time?
On and off.
Is that why you say you weren't taking it seriously?
Yeah, like on and off. I was doing music.
When did you start going to studios?
Real studios.
Any studios?
Told you 8th grade.
8th grade.
It was
Okay.
a house studio though, like in somebody's house.
Where they have computers set up
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
ability to mix music and record, etc., but not at the level that you get from a commercial studio.
Right, yeah. It was in a closet.
Okay. All right. When you said you started taking it seriously at 18, what changed? What is different between 17 and 18-year-old Mooney Lee as far as his music?
I mean, I was older, so I was able to go to real studios and see bigger things in music. I don't know. And it made me like, I mean, I guess because I was older and I was able to stay out longer or go to studios and stay out late with my friends at the studio. So it made me just like, I mean, I had the time to take it serious. I had the opportunity to take it serious now because I'm 18.
At some point, have you been able to sign a record deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you have a record deal with?
Alamo Records.
And where are they based out of?
New York.
Do they have any sort of affiliation with YSL, the record label? Other than you?
At all? You saying like, I mean, I don't know.
Are they one and the same?
What do you mean?
Are they one and the same? Do the people that run YSL record label run Alamo?
No.
Okay. Are they the same people? Do the people that run Alamo run YSL?
No.
Record label. Okay. All right. And what year did you sign with Alamo?
2018.
Okay.
I was 19.
Okay.
I think that's 2018.
How many albums have you made in your career?
Tapes, I mean, 3.
3, okay. And when you say 3, how many songs have been released under?
On each one?
Yeah.
Maybe like 12 to 14 on each one.
Okay. And you rhyme under the name Slime Life Shorty, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had hit songs?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you tell me what your most popular songs are?
Don't Worry. Don't Worry, Baby Boy.
Don't Worry?
Yeah.
Okay. When was that released?
Like 2020 or 2021, one of those years.
Okay.
I think it was 2021.
As a signed artist, do you perform live?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you perform live?
Whenever I get booked.
How often is that?
Like every other weekend.
Okay. And how many people are you performing in front of on average?
I don't even remember the total. I'm just saying it's like whatever the club capacity or the venue capacity is, like that.
Thousands is that fair to say?
Not thousands, but yeah.
Okay, about 1,000.
Yeah, 1,002, maybe, I don't know.
All right. Now let me ask you this: as a signed artist, I'm not talking about when you were starting out. As a signed artist, do you have a team behind you at the record label?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they sign? Do they book your shows for you?
Management do that.
Okay. All right. Management does that. How about designing the graphics on your albums and things like that?
Yeah, they do that.
Okay. How about studio time? Who's in charge of booking studio time and paying for studio time?
Label and managers.
Okay. And your social media presence right now, do you have Instagram, Twitter, etc.?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your moniker on Twitter, for instance? Is it Slime Life Shorty?
I don't even know. I don't even run my Twitter. My label and team do that type of stuff.
That was my next question. So as a signed artist, are you responsible for the tweets that you put out?
No.
Are you responsible for the Instagram posts that you put out as a signed artist?
Not 100% of them.
Okay. Does your record label utilize social media to garner their artist, you, attention?
Yeah, like they might feel like they know the best things to post or to say.
Is it part of a promotional plan?
Yeah.
These studio sessions that you're able to have the label book for you now, are those, who pays for those?
The label though.
Okay. And are those typically at night or during the day?
It's really, you asking when do I book studios or when do
Yes.
people book studios?
When do you book studios?
Typically nighttime.
Okay. And just for my education, sometimes when people say, I'm at the Yo or I'm going to the Yo, what is the Yo?
Studio.
Okay. Yo is short for studio. Okay. Now, with what you have going on in the year 2024, with this label behind you, are you able to use your music to provide for your family?
Yes.
And your children?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you view your music, your experience in the music industry as a success?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to talk to you a little bit about your efforts to break into the music industry, okay? All right. In those years before you were signed, you said you went to people's houses to record?
Yeah.
Why did you go to people's houses as opposed to the studio?
I didn't have no money to book my own studio.
You didn't have the funds?
Yeah, I didn't have the funds to book a real studio session or my own studio session.
Okay, and when we're talking about booking a studio session, I think I know what you mean, but I want to make sure everyone does. You have to rent the room, correct?
Right.
And then you have to also pay an engineer.
Yeah, you got to pay the engineer. Yeah, like whatever he charged per hour.
Okay. So back then, when you didn't have those funds, you were recording in people's houses. How about your social media at the time? Alamo wasn't running your social media when you were, before you were signed, were they?
No.
Okay. Who was in charge of your social media?
Me.
Okay. And did you try to use social media to increase the public's awareness of you as a rapper?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me some ways in which you would do that?
I guess my name, Slime Life Shorty.
Okay. Did you use hashtags?
Yeah.
Did you talk about upcoming projects that you had coming out?
Yeah.
Did you include pictures of you at the studio or maybe the home studio working on your craft?
Right. Yeah.
You wanted the people to know that you're on the grind, that you're producing music, correct?
Yeah.
You wanted people to know about you. Okay. Did you include references to YSL?
Yes.
In your songs?
Yeah.
And in your social media posts, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And YSL, of course, is a label that at the time, you're younger than Jeffrey Williams, correct?
Yeah.
At the time when you were trying to make it through, YSL, in fact, had a very popular artist on that record label, correct?
Yeah.
Being Jeffrey Williams performing as Young Thug, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Associating yourself with YSL is in your experience, were you able to bring in fans and potential fans and get them to pay attention to you by doing that, by associating yourself with YSL?
Of course.
Okay. Was that part of your strategy?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
When you were just trying to make it, did you release songs on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, like we just saw a song performed by Shannon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and that song was on YouTube, correct?
Yeah.
All right, and it was only, I think, probably about 45 seconds long or something like that, shorter than the usual song, correct?
Right.
Okay, that sort of short song released on YouTube, is that something that before you made it, before you were signed, is that the type of thing that you would release on YouTube to get attention?
Yeah. Videos on YouTube, yeah.
That vlog, we keep calling it, A Night with YSL. I know that it wasn't the label that you gave it. 46NN, it's in evidence. Is that the type of media that you would put on YouTube to garner attention to yourself?
Yeah, rappers do that.
Okay. Do you do that?
I was a part of that one.
Okay. Is that the only vlog you've ever released to the internet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I
so-
never really released no vlog. I mean, like I didn't release it, but I guess like, you know, the cameraman, the camera crew that be around or whatever, they release it and name it whatever they want to. But yeah.
But you took part in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You willingly took part in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted people to see you on the internet because you thought that would boost your career and the number of people that would potentially buy your music, correct?
Yeah.
So, in your experience as an up-and-coming rapper, songs released to YouTube, that's part of the process, correct?
Yeah.
Blog posts with hashtags that reference YSL or other popular rappers, that's part of the process, correct?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your relationship with my client, Mr. Stillwell. What year did you meet Mr. Stillwell?
Probably 2019, maybe.
Around-
I don't remember by heart.
Okay. You did not know him back 2014, 2015, 2016. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So in 2019, when you met him, would you consider him a friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how often would you see each other back in 2019, 2020?
Whenever he came to the studio or somebody was shooting a video or something like that.
Okay.
Or a show or something.
So you just named three things: Shannon coming to the studio, someone shooting a video, or at a show? Let's unpack that. First of all, it seems that you're saying that your relationship with Shannon, you were friends, but it revolved around music. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's how we met.
Okay. When you say at a show, whose show would you see him at?
Their show, when they performed their song, or my show, or anybody who had a show that was around, they were rapping.
Okay. Music videos. Has he ever been present at any of your music videos?
I think so. I don't know. I can't remember.
Have you been present at his?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, we talked, I think it's fair to say you're signed, and you're at a certain level in your career now in 2024. When you met Shannon in 2019, to your knowledge, was he signed to a record?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Was, to your understanding, was he at that point in the process that you had been years before?
Yeah.
He's trying to make it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Trying to get eyes on him.
Objection, that is speculation.
Sustained.
You mentioned seeing him at the studio. In that year, 2019, 2020, that time frame, how many days a week would you be in the studio?
Maybe 4 or 5 days out of the week.
Okay. And at that point, these 4 or 5 days of the week, that's Alamo Records paying for your studio time at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what studios would they rent for you?
It was different studios. I don't remember all the names of them though.
Okay. What area of towns were they?
Like Landing Station, like Northside Drive area. Around that area, Northside Drive somewhere.
Northside Drive, Atlantic Station. Were there any around Cleveland Avenue?
It was a studio in Cleveland, but it wasn't labeled. They didn't book it. It was just somebody we knew.
Okay. What about on Fulton Industrial?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you know an individual by name of that goes by Mook Tovin?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Who is Mook? And that's Mooktoven. Who is Mook Tovin?
That's the guy that had the studio on Cleveland Avenue at first. Then he moved around different places.
Is he someone that I guess your record label or an individual would contact to book a studio session?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Miss Knight, could you do me a favor? Could you publish 38 NN? Mr. Lee, I want to talk to you about this post that the state has admitted as 38NN into evidence. Okay, Mr. Stillwell is not in this photo, correct?
All right.
All right. Now, I see you wearing a hoodie and a pair of shorts that say slat and keep America slime. And it has make crossed out and it says keep America slime. Who made those clothes?
Mouse.
Okay, when you say Miles, who's Miles? Miles, is that Miles Farley?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Miles Farley a rapper?
Nah.
Does he?
He made
Does
some.
he want to try to be sometimes?
He tried to be before.
Okay, but the reality is, he makes clothes.
Yeah.
That's how he makes a living, correct?
All right.
And he sells these clothes around Atlanta and around the world, correct?
All right.
Okay. And these particular clothes that you're wearing were in fact made by Miles Farley, correct?
Yeah.
And is Miles Farley a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and does Miles Farley, these clothes that he sells, is it limited to only people that are rappers for YSL? Or does he sell it to the public?
He said to anybody who want to buy it.
And these clothes that you were wearing today, did Miles Farley, or clothes that you were wearing the date that this photo was taken, did Miles Farley give you those clothes to wear?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he ask you to wear them?
I'm pretty sure he probably wanted me to wear it.
And did you wear these clothes to do Miles Farley a favor?
Yeah.
To get his clothing brand out there so more people would buy those clothes.
Right.
And so that he could make a living.
Right.
In his lane of this hip hop universe, correct?
Yeah.
Miss Knight, could you do me a favor and publish, where are we? No, excuse me, 39 NN. I'm sorry, 36 NN. I apologize. Okay, let's talk about 36 NN, State's Exhibit 36 NN. Who's in that photo?
Me and Shannon.
Okay. And where was this photo taken?
At the studio.
At the studio?
Yeah.
All right. Do you see the words to the right, the caption?
Yeah.
And this is on OG Bull's page?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, those words, do those words look familiar to you?
Yeah.
And when I say the words, I'm saying F-U-C-K, the other side, put them on TVs about my dogs going on. Those look familiar to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whose words are those?
And lyrics to my song.
Those are lyrics to a song that you wrote?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the name of the song?
Or the love of it.
One more time?
Where's the love?
Okay, and what year was that song released?
It had to be in, I don't know when, but it had to be in 2020, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, it says F the other side. When you wrote those lyrics, or when you performed those lyrics, were you speaking about a specific other side when you wrote that?
Specifically? No. I mean, no. I mean, not nobody in specific.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the term drill?
Yeah.
Rap, and you familiar with the term trap music?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Would you agree that those are categories of hip hop, rap in the year 2024?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's kind of like an updated way of, it makes people that say like gangster rap seem a little old because now there's all these different subdivisions, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this idea of the other side or ops. If I were to go on YouTube and just pull up random songs, random hip hop songs released in 2024, would I see hundreds of rappers talking about their ops?
Objection, speculation.
I don't know what the question's going to be.
Well, let me ask you this. I can fix it.
Okay.
In the year 2024, and even the years before then leading to where we are today, has the concept or the theme of ops, is that a common theme in hip hop?
Objection, thing is a common
If, to his knowledge, I'll permit it.
To your knowledge.
Everybody got ops when they make music.
Right. So rappers, you've seen rappers in Atlanta use the term ops.
In the music, yeah.
You've seen rappers in other cities use the term ops.
Yeah.
You've seen rappers in London, England, or other countries using the term ops, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing unique about the term ops
No, not me.
in music by YSL or music by Slime Life Shorty or anything else. That's a common theme, correct?
Yeah. You can just use it how you want to use it.
So in this song, where the lyrics are in front of it, and these are up until, where do your lyrics stop on this post?
Where it say dog with 2 exclamation marks.
Not my dog. Okay. So
Right.
from the beginning to the 2 exclamation points, those are your lyrics. So you talk about putting people on TVs about my dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a reference to creating a news report about someone being harmed or killed, right? That's what you're saying as an artist.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever killed anyone?
No.
Okay. Was what you said in that lyric fiction?
Yeah.
Is a lot of your music fiction?
Yes.
So here on this post, we have a picture of you and Shannon at the studio. And Shannon posting lyrics that you wrote, correct?
Yeah.
And that you are telling us now you wrote them as a work of fiction. They're not true, correct?
All right.
All right. Let's talk about hashtag NSLB. That stands for No Slime Left Behind, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was, in fact, a title of one of your albums, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you say No Slime Left Behind, why did you choose that as an album for 1 year, or the title for one of your albums?
Because I feel like slime is a popular thing to push in music, I guess.
Okay. The Left Behind part, have you growing up in Cleveland Avenue, have you seen some of your friends left behind?
A lot of them.
Okay. Does that make you feel good that some of your friends have been left behind?
Nope.
Okay. 2Bs. Hashtag 2Bs. What does 2B stand for?
Big business.
Big business?
Yes, sir.
And that's a phrase that you often say to people, correct?
All right.
you personally are synonymous with that phrase, big business. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and what does big business mean to you?
You're doing it big. Whatever you do, do it big. Whatever business you in, make it big, make it count.
And then we see a thanks for an exclusive AWS hat and for this crazy AWS one of none hoodie. Do people, when you're in the studio creating music, do people bring you clothing and just give it to you to market their, much the way Miles Farley does? Is that common?
Yeah.
Is that what Miles Farley does?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
Answer that.
Yes.
Is that what you do? Like, give me clothes to wear, give people clothes and stuff like that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes to the studio to hand out those clothes often, correct?
Yeah.
Could I, Miss Knight, could you now kindly put up 37 and Mr. Lee, 37 and that is my client Shannon in the picture, correct?
Yeah.
And in this, it says, ain't none more compatible than a trench, a carbon while in the trenches, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And then afterwards it says, and this was posted September 18th, 2020, correct?
I don't see the date, but I guess.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Does it have the same hashtag, no slime left behind, and
Oh,
two
yeah.
B's?
Yeah.
Okay. And I also see on the bottom, hashtag book in riches on the way.
Uh-huh.
Book in Riches was a song that Shannon was working on back in 2020, correct?
All right.
One of the songs that he was working on, correct?
Right.
How often would you said that Alamo would book you studio time? How many days a week? If you answered, I'm sorry, I forgot what your answer was. How many days a week would
You
you?
said how often would they?
Yeah, no. How often would you be in the studio?
About 4 or 5 days out of the week.
Okay. And now, how often would you see? You said you see Shannon at the studio a lot. How often would you see Shannon at your studio sessions?
Maybe half of that time.
Okay. So 2 to 3 times a week, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reality is, Alamo was paying for your studio sessions, but other people could show up at your studio sessions and try to get a little time on the mic with the engineer, correct?
Right.
And try to work on their craft when they didn't necessarily have the resources or the company or the label behind them to support them, correct?
Yeah.
Is that what Shannon was doing?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Okay. Book in Riches is a project that you knew him to be working on?
Yeah, I think it was a project, a tape.
And OTW stands for on the way, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So back when you were trying to make it, before you had Alamo behind you, you used to make posts on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
You used to hashtag your projects
Yeah.
and try to let the public know that you're working on something, right?
All right.
And you would want the most views you could for your post, correct?
All right.
You'd want it out there. You'd want it reposted.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where association with Slime and Slat and YSL was able to work for you, correct?
Yeah.
Affiliating yourself musically with YSL led to a whole nother unaffiliated record label signing you to a contract, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because you had been able to demonstrate to them that you had the grassroots following that would make you a wise investment for those people in New York, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And part of growing that grassroots following is the social media posts, the hashtags, the free studio time,
Yeah.
the wearing the clothes, correct?
Yeah.
Have you heard other rappers completely unrelated to Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, Jeffrey Williams use the term slime, slat in their raps?
Yeah.
Mr. Lee, you still with me?
Yeah. I said yeah.
Have you seen athletes wipe their nose
Yeah.
to celebrate a sack or a touchdown?
Yeah.
I beg the court's indulgence. I have no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
All right, Mr. Weinstein, do you have questions? All right, go ahead.
Ms. Knight, would you put up 38 and then? Good morning, Mr. Lee. I'm Doug Weinstein. I represent Diamante Kendrick. I think you know him as Yak Gotti, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so for you, just for convenience, I'll call him Yak, okay?
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ms. Knight's putting up 38 NN. This is the third time, I guess, you've gotten to see this today. Do you recall where this photograph was taken?
At the studio.
At the studio. And y'all are standing outside the studio because I guess you're on a smoke break. Is that correct? And you can't smoke in the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't smoke cigarettes in the studio.
Say that again?
Yeah, you can't smoke cigarettes in there.
I'm glad you clarified that point. Can't smoke cigarettes in the studio, so you're standing outside. And Yak is right behind you in this picture, right?
Yeah.
And you're wearing your Miles Farley clothing, as we've already established. And most of your interactions with Yak were related to recording in the studio and music. Is that correct?
All right.
Did you guys do a song together?
Yeah.
What was the name of that song? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
I don't think we ever dropped it.
Never dropped it, but you got it on a reel somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, in other words, your relationship with Yak is music oriented, right?
Right.
How many songs altogether do you think you've written before you were 18 and after 18? How many songs you put together?
I don't even know. I don't remember.
Over 1,000?
Probably so.
Probably so. And those songs, are all those songs factual?
No.
Are all those songs autobiographical, things that you actually did?
No.
So even though you came up on Cleveland, even though you're a rapper, you have an imagination? Is that correct?
Yeah, every artist do.
Every artist does, right?
Yeah.
You don't lack an imagination because you're a rapper.
Right.
The vlogs that you go out and shoot, what's the process for that? Can you just explain it a little bit?
I don't even know.
Are you holding the camera at some point?
You saying, are you talking about in that particular
Just
video?
in general. I'm sorry, you can take that down. I don't want to confuse things.
In general?
In general, like the vlogs. I'd like you to talk about how you do those vlogs.
I guess somebody just record and I don't know, whoever want to get on the camera, just talk or whatever. Talk about your music, talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. And once that's all recorded, who edits that? Do you edit those vlogs?
Nah.
There's some other editor that does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. You have any input into that?
Nah, I didn't even know it was going to get dropped.
Okay. And, talking about that, there's a lot of people that have input into the vlog, right? But also into your lyrics. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. So does your producers have input into what goes into those lyrics?
Labels may make suggestions on what you should say or how you should say some stuff or what you should drop or what you should not drop.
Okay, so when we're looking at lyrics that you're singing, you may or may not have written those lyrics, correct?
Yeah.
Even if you have written those lyrics are maybe the product of input from the record label, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain things the record label wants in those lyrics, correct?
Yeah.
There's certain things that are part of the genre of trap music that might be in there, or drill music, correct?
Yeah, it depends on the image that label want to push.
What was the image they were pushing for you?
Slime, I guess.
Slime. Okay. And so there's certain tropes, there's certain things that need to be in there, correct? And the label wants you to have those in there. Well, from your experience, does the label want you to have certain things in those lyrics?
I would think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have no more questions for you. Thank you very much.
Redirect. You may.
I miss what just happened. Are they on a break or are they on lunch? I've been over trying to do my homework. It's one of them days. It's one of them days. I will say this: Max seemed like he done lost his burst of wind somehow. I don't know how he gonna find it. He need to find it. I understand now, especially with Young Thug no longer on the trial, it's gonna be it's gonna be an uphill battle because they have more evidence, quote unquote. Oh, Shannon. Oh, okay, they back. I thought they were gonna break. Okay.
Mr. Lee, you talked about being signed to Alamo Records. Are you signed to a subsidiary of Alamo Records?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Are you signed to a subsidiary of Alamo Records?
What does that mean?
Are you signed to OTF?
No.
Have you ever been signed to OTF?
No.
In one of your pictures, you're wearing an OTF chain. What is that chain for?
I was gifted that chain. I never signed no paperwork with OTL.
Is OTF affiliated with Alamo?
On paper, I don't know, but they have an OTF artist that's signed to them.
Okay. And who is that artist?
Look,
Yes.
Oh, Your Honor, I'll withdraw.
Okay.
Now, with Alamo Records, does Alamo Records have any specific colors that they represent?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? No. You're currently signed to Alamo, correct?
Yeah, you said colors though, right?
Yeah. Do they have any colors, specific colors?
Like in the office, what they wear, or what the artist should wear?
Do they have any colors specific to Alamo Records?
I think orange.
Okay. Do you have any hand signs specific to Alamo Records?
I don't know. Maybe an A sign.
Okay.
I don't know.
Does Alamo Records have any words like slat or slime related to their record label?
I think they just say Alamo.
Okay. Now, you were asked some questions on cross-examinations about your managers kind of running your social media and things of that nature. Do your managers run your direct messages to other YSL members?
Not that I know of, no.
So when you have the direct messages, is that you responding back and forth to individuals?
To people I know?
Yes.
Probably so.
They talked, I think you were asked questions about managers kind of promoting your identity or who you're trying to be on social media. Do your managers control the words that come out of your mouth?
Not the words come out my mouth, but they control the what is it called? When you upload something, the captions.
Okay, but not the words that come out your mouth.
No.
You were asked about using YSL to gain notoriety. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall when you and I first started talking, probably a week and a half ago, that you said that you actually became affiliated with YSL because your music was already popping and they noticed it?
I said that's how I became an affiliate of, being around YSL, yeah.
So if your music came first, how is it that you were hashtagging YSL to gain more notoriety?
Because that's who I wanted to be signed to.
And you still aren't signed to them, correct?
No.
And you still represent YSL, is that fair?
I guess.
Is Miles Farley, excuse me, let me ask you this. How often have you been around Miles Farley?
All my life.
Okay. And are you aware if he has a tattoo on the back of his neck that is ESPN?
I don't know.
In big red letters?
I don't know. I don't remember if he do or not.
And is Miles Farley a member of YSL, to your knowledge?
If he say he is,
I'm asking you.
I don't know if he claim he is or not.
But he's the one that's making all the Make America Slime clothing?
Yes.
And slime is language that is used by YSL members?
Yes. But you don't have to be YSL to say slime.
Right. But he's not just saying it, he's making clothing for it, right?
Right.
Now, there was a lot of questioning about ops being a common theme in rap music, in music generally. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yeah.
And speaking about the ops, is that usually someone of an opposition to whoever's rapping about it in the music that you've heard?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Would you agree with me that when they're talking about ops in rap music or any genre, they're speaking about someone opposite of them, whether it's an enemy or another group or someone feuding, it's someone opposite of the person rapping?
Can be a baby mama or something. A lot of people make diss songs and talking about the baby mama, whoever you want to talk about your op here.
So even in that example, if the op is the baby mama, at that point in time, those two people are in disagreement with each other. Is that fair to say?
I guess, I don't know.
And with some of the songs that you've heard that talk about ops, in those instances, are you aware of people who are part of maybe that rapper's groups actually committing violence against the ops?
Hold on, say it again.
Sure. So they asked you about rappers who talk about the ops. Do you remember that?
Uh-huh.
In those songs, if the rappers are talking about the ops, are you aware if there has been any violence towards the ops that they are referring or talking about?
In the songs, I don't know.
Sustain. He said he doesn't know anyway.
Sure. When you were asked about,
Go ahead and ask your next
What song? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just ask your next question.
you were asked about whether you've seen athletes use the word slime or slat and wipe their nose. Do you remember being asked that question?
Yeah.
The athletes that you were thinking of, are any of them associated with the gang YSL?
I don't know what they're associated with.
Have you seen any of the athletes that you were thinking of in the Cleveland Avenue neighborhood?
I don't remember. I didn't see them on Cleveland. I just see them online doing it.
Okay. Now, you were asked about whether your songs are fictional. Do you remember being asked a series of questions about that?
Yes.
All right. In the song that we played, Where You From, do you talk about Cleveland Avenue?
Yeah, I think I said I'm from Cleveland Avenue.
Is that a fiction that you're from Cleveland Avenue?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. You talk about Little Rod in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah.
Mhm. So that's not fiction. Is that fair to say?
No.
Okay. You also talk about Big Boo in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah, he a real person.
All right. You talk about Woody in that song. Is that real?
Is he a real person?
Yes.
Yeah, he a real person.
All right. You talk about Poke in that song. Is Poke a real person?
Yeah.
Okay. You talk about Shannon in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person.
You talk about Took in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah.
So would you say that that song specifically is not a song that is fictional?
I'll withdraw my objection.
Answer.
Yeah, you can answer.
Can you answer the question again?
Sure. So would you say that there's portions of that song that are not fictional?
There is certain parts, like I guess the names are not fake.
You talked about Boo being called a rat. Is that something that was fictional?
Him being a rat is fictional, or
Being
him
called a rat.
Yeah,
Yes, that is fictional that he was called a rat.
he was called a rat.
So that's true.
Right.
court's indulgence for in your experience or to your knowledge, do some rappers rap about their lived experiences or rap about crimes that they have committed in the past?
You said, do they rap about the crimes they have committed in the past?
Yes, to your knowledge.
I don't know if it's real or fake, what they did in their past or not. I don't know.
He said, what now? What the hell? That answer caught me off guard. I'm like, what?
All right, any recalls?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lee, you are free to go. We'll go ahead and take our lunch break right now. Let's plan to be back at, I think we can be back at 1:15. All right, with regard to timing, I haven't heard back from the other court, but they know we want Dr. Sullivan. Okay, great, thanks. And then hopefully we'll hear over the lunch break from Ms. Winfrey about that bench conference. So I'll update y'all when we return, assuming I've got that information by then. All right, see y'all back in an hour.
Well, there you have it. The first half of the YSL trial since Young Thug pleaded out. Shout out to Slime Life Shouty. He was all right on the stand. I mean, he ain't really say much. Besides, I think the evidence with him was more so videos and social media. He ain't really had too much detail to really offer about nothing for real, other than his music and social media. So you know, like I said, I don't think his testimony was damning. However, obviously, it was needed to be put into this puzzle for the overall case. He wasn't one of them witnesses that just was doing the most, you know, like Lil D was doing the most at points, Moot was doing the most at point, Woody definitely did the most. He just got up there, did what he had to do, and he successfully did it because they didn't have to backtrack on him too much or emphasize too much on his plea agreement. I think he stayed within the lines of it. And ultimately, they really, I mean, other than the connection between maybe like the older generation and the younger generation, I don't see too much shit he really offered. All right, y'all. But yeah, it's lunchtime for them. Other than that, they really, you know, I kind of agree with Lamar with Matt Sharp. It seemed like his morale is low. I know it's going to be a hurdle for him because a lot of evidence that they did, quote unquote, have on his client will probably now be tried to be brought in. Now that Young Thug is not there. So it's still an uphill battle for him. I'm still not quite sure of Yet Gotti yet. You know, I haven't really heard too much as far as the witnesses since I've been watching back this go round since June. Really mention much about Yet Gotti other than I think Lil D. And he basically apologized for even lying on Yet Gotti. So yeah, I don't too much really, I don't know about the Yet Gotti stance. I think Shannon Stillwell so far probably having the most against him. I don't know about yet though. That's pretty much my takeaway from today. Like I said, I've been in and out dealing with my dad's case, doing schoolwork. But for the most part, I've been listening to it, and that's really my biggest takeaways from it. I do want to see who was right, as far as quote unquote what's the bird brain police officer name? Thorpe. If he was actually on the witness list to come back, or if he wasn't. If he wasn't on the witness list, he's not gonna be able to testify to bring in the new details that they wanted in regards to Donovan Thomas murder. Yeah. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live at 3 hours and 45 minutes since they're on lunch. I'll see y'all back on the second go around. We'll see how it goes. So for now, y'all know everything that I said on this live is what. And like I said throughout the video, that's my opinion. And if you don't like it, guess what? I'm like, fuck yeah. Hold on, wait, before I go, y'all make sure y'all tap in with me to book your slot. A lot of y'all be hitting me up on Instagram and the email wanting to just talk about content, whether you're an up-and-coming content creator or somebody just got questions about cases or whatever. Book your consultation with me now. The information is on the screen. Hey, make sure you get your slot, because my slots be filling up fast.
Mickey talks the truth.
Okay. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind.
Hey, listen, you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
Mickey talks the truth.